Saskatchewan Championship Curling is brought to you by Viterra, SaskTel, SGI, White Ice and Eastside Paint and Wallpaper, Curling Canada and the 2020 Scotties Tournament of Hearts, CurlSask, SaskTel Max TV, and RealCast Media. Saskatchewan Championship Curling is brought to you.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to CurlSask.ca's live coverage from the 2020 Scotties Viterra. We are live at the Horizon Credit Union Center in Melville. My name is Sean Joyce. I'm here with Kim Hodson and Susan Lang.
Good morning, curling fans.
We had the A final last night. Robin Silvernagle, by virtue of her victory, has to wait 2 days to play in the playoffs. We've got 3 games on today, the C event, and all 3 of these games, there's teams trying to avoid a much longer layoff between Scotties appearances.
Yes.
This is win or go home. We will be featuring the game on Sheet 3. It's Lorraine Schneider against Mandy Selzer, but we'll keep an eye on the Fleming-Holland matchup on Sheet 1 and Tisdale and Williamson on Sheet 2 as well.
You know that, Sean, you say that tongue-in-cheek and a long way to go, but it's certainly been done in the past. Backs to the wall, and now we've seen winners come from the sea and win the whole thing.
Well, we haven't had a triple for a while, but we did see just 3 years ago in this building, Penny Barker coming from the Page 3-4 game, went all the way through to win the championship.
And we used to have this triple many years ago. And, well, many.
Well, I'll have
I don't
to
know
take
what
your
it
word
is,
for that.
10.
You're much older than me.
Oh, yeah, right. And, yeah, I can confidently tell you there were many teams that got on a roll, played with their backs to the wall, and right through the C event.
Well, these teams just starting playing the C event this morning, but still only need 3 wins to get to the playoffs. All of them have done that before this season.
Well, 3 wins to get to the playoffs, and then 3 wins in the playoffs. So 1 game at a time, 1 win at a time, 6 games.
So yesterday, Mandy Selzer had one of those games that just absolutely nothing went right for them. Sherry Anderson's team, everything went well for them. So interested to see how they bounce back. This is a veteran team. They've been to several Scotties. The team has been intact for many years. So good camaraderie, good teamwork on here. So if anybody can bounce back from a terrible outing yesterday, it will be this team as we watch a rock go through the ring. So
that's fun.
My timing on some of these things isn't great.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Hey, Joe. You got it. Probably just a touch more on
So some of our younger curlers coming up, Larissa Murray will appreciate that comment too, but nice to see some youth and some 20-somethings that are taking up this game and playing it at a very high level. Jill DeGoye is just recently out of juniors a couple of years ago, university student.
Mine's good, yep.
And has been competing at juniors here in Saskatchewan for several years, and it's just great to see them continue through their junior careers into the women's field.
That's good. Okay.
And a nice setup there for the Schneider team.
I believe Jill is also one of the, if it's not the defending, 1 year past the mixed doubles championship, one with Garrett Springer, who we will see later on this week as well.
No line.
We're good. Hey, how'd you get it? Yeah, I guess that is it's really not going. I would have thought that'd be shorter, but again, we didn't curl it.
Yeah.
Keeping an eye on the speed of the morning ice yesterday, the curlers were saying there was quite a difference in draw speed from the morning draw to the evening draw. 3, 4, 5 feet, and it takes everybody a couple of ends just to really start to believe that type of a difference. So looks like it's back to really quick morning ice here today.
Whoa! 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 Yep! Yep! Hard! Yep!
Well, that
Not really
was
sure.
not the plan. I didn't hear any indication whether that picked or anything.
Megan. Yeah, you got it.
68.
So we had
8. Okay.
Megan Selzer now trying to make the come around, and again,
Or past it. If it doesn't curl, it is.
sweepers are,
At the
anytime they're
benches.
not even bent over, that's not a good sign.
Yeah.
No, and you can see the excuse me, the wind flowing through their hair on a draw as they're trying to keep up with the rock. That's another sign this isn't doing what they want it to do. But you can hear them all talking about it. You can see them trying to figure out what speed, but they would have had first practice, and clearly it's changed since their practice, so make some quick adjustments here.
3. Yeah. Line's okay. Line's good. Keep it going. Hard. Where are we? 3.
Boy, this rock's going absolutely sideways.
Yeah, it's curling. It's light too.
16 almost.
Okay, Megan. Somebody has to.
Yeah, we've seen it enough times. Line's fine. Let it
Oh.
work.
Got it curl.
There's a brush
Five,
touch
six.
the ice.
Line's okay.
Still on the
Curling
other
now.
side of that. Here it comes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hard line. Hard line.
Yeah.
And there it
Line's
goes.
good.
Gotta go wait.
Make
Line's
it
great. Keep it coming hard, Aaron. Hard.
Come on, Aaron, hard.
Hard. Get a bite. Get a bite. Get a bite. That's okay. Yeah, once they don't
they
switch.
go. Now that one's
Yeah.
swooped.
Yeah.
You got a hit.
It shouldn't have been.
Yeah, we don't
sweeping.
need to.
Does that difference?
Also play it back.
I don't think it did.
Okay. Probably just draw.
Yeah.
All right. You got it.
All right.
So coming around the center yellow one.
I like that.
So Larissa Murray back curling in Saskatchewan this year. She hooked up with a team from Medicine Hat last year, so we didn't see her at provincials, but she had curled a long time with Chantal Eberly. So nice to see Larissa back in CurlSask territory again.
Be sure really hard.
Yes.
Oh, yep. Oh, room.
Backy.
Finish it.
Oh, no, don't.
You got to finish it.
No. That's good.
Yeah, certainly sliding this morning.
Did you get a long time on that?
I didn't get along.
Yeah, and I
Okay, we got it.
don't think they had to finish it. Look at where that ended up.
We can catch it soon enough, yep.
Trying to think back how many games we've seen on sheet 3. Maybe only the one. I don't recall this big
Amount
swing.
of curl. Yeah.
Line's nice.
Has to curl yet.
Line's close.
We've had
was
plenty
our
of curls
first
coming
game, wasn't
off
it?
the center line,
Hard line.
but boy, look at
Gotta
that's
go.
still
Hard.
3 feet off the line when it
Hard,
made the break,
gotta
and
go.
it is
Really
going
hard.
hard.
Yeah.
And really
Hard,
good rotation.
hard.
That's not a soft release in
Keep
the
going hard.
least.
A little short though.
Get it off.
Okay.
It's going to be hard to find a way in soon, especially
Soon as
if
it
you're
started
Well.
back here. we
Yeah.
red. I mean, you can always
There's-
promote.
The taps are going to have
Yeah.
to start pretty soon. Here they are.
I think so.
That same weight? I'd like the same weight. Yeah, same weight's pretty close. Okay.
The thing about it is when you got a wall of
This is gonna
guards
be
like that, the
fresh,
taps
though.
don't have to be nearly as
Yeah,
precise.
I need
Get
a
it
little
behind
more weight.
any one of those is pretty good.
All right. Okay. You got it. We're on high side. It's pretty good.
Of course, the other side of that is when you see it breaking that hard,
Closing.
to get the line for a tap is not an easy task.
No, that's true.
Close. Yep. Jill in. Yep. Ash. Hard.
There you go. You heard them call for the sweep initially to try to make it curl.
Okay.
Then it over curls a little bit short. That might be the fact that they had to go that little bit wider to get to
Farther
that
out.
one. So that was the first
Back
rock down
line.
that path.
Okay. I think.
So I'll throw 75 if she wants back line. Hey.
Let's try here.
Let's go in. Okay. Or do you think I need a little more than 75 if that was 80? No, that was 85. Okay.
So Dr. Aaron Barnhart
Where are ya?
to
Yep.
make the adjustment.
Hard line.
Aaron's a physician in
Whoa.
Regina.
Whoa. Good up.
Off. 9. Close. Stay with it. Yep. Yes. 9. Whoa.
10.
Yep. Yes. 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 Yes.
Here's a nice shot.
Whoa, you're popping.
Is there a hole there?
Yeah, just
Looks like
curled
it.
past it a little bit and taps it in for shot rock, but there's a good look at it from that angle.
Not the end of the world.
There is a hole.
Yeah, we just can't jam, right?
It's not a giant hole.
Or just I think
It's 3 letters wide.
The only thing is
Well,
like
no.
9.5, you're not
No?
curling
You could only see the line on the E. That's
Oh.
not the whole letter.
So just 2.5.
You're taking
then.
advantage of the fact that one of those letters is an I as well.
A skinny letter.
Here's the thing, with as much as curl as we've seen so far in this game, she's going to have to throw some weight to make that hole.
Yeah. Well, and that's been the tricky thing so far is as soon as you up your weight a little bit, it doesn't necessarily compute. What we've seen before today is that it runs very, very straight. So looking at the ice she's taking, I'm not sure what weight she's throwing.
She said 9.5. That's
So regular.
if we
yeah.
rattle off like a couple off the front, that's okay too.
But that's a lot more
Pardon?
ice than
How
we've
much
seen
do you
anybody
have?
take all week for,
For sure.
that kind of weight.
It's almost edge to edge. Okay.
You got it.
Like the broom she's got down is more like what we've seen for hack to bumper
Yes.
so far this week.
Yeah.
Weight's okay.
Oh, yep. Hard. 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 Hard.
Just rubs the top one on the way by.
Lined up those yellows pretty nicely there too.
Yeah, I was looking at that myself, thinking you might be able to play the tap and get back into a position to guard your shot stone.
Yeah.
Is it easier just to play the drop? No, I'm saying.
Could be. I could split in off of there. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Looks like they're playing the split.
So same as Aaron too, weight-wise.
The curl we've seen so far, that's a very tough split by the time you're by the red to still make contact with the yellow. You could straight draw to the corner of the forefoot, I think.
There's a good look at our coaches.
Just
We have Jamie Schneider there on the left and longtime coach for the Selzer team, Ken Bakken from Belgoni. He's been with this team ever since Mandy won the Canadian Juniors.
A little have we got options.
And what year was that?
Oh, if I go off memory, I'm going to say the wrong year. So I will look it up.
10 years
Yeah,
ago?
hard line.
Weight's up.
Hard. That's okay.
Good.
Hard. Yep, hard.
Weight's
Whoa,
up.
whoa, whoa. We're good. Go. Stay with it.
Stay with it. Megan.
Yes, then.
Yes.
Let's go for the split. Yep.
Hard. Whoa, 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 whoa. Megan, shoot her.
Curl across there. Very nice.
It's good.
So that was 2006 when Mandy Selzer won the world silver medal over in South Korea.
To shape this turn. Yeah. It's just gonna go like nuts.
So that's a long time for teammates and the coach to be together.
Nice like here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Probably that same weight. I'll say.
So playing the hit and roll behind a lot.
You were trying to count them, and then
couldn't count
once you
that
got
high.
past 3, it was time to just say a lot.
Yeah.
She's got to be a little careful with the roll behind because, as you said, the 2 yellows are lined up, and they're also lined up to the yellow
And it's
in
another
behind
yellow.
them. So you roll right behind that. It could be just 3 yellows lined up to take
Yep.
that out. You actually want to stagger this a little bit if you can. And that's asking for a lot. You're trying to take out a rock, roll 2 feet, but then I don't want to roll exactly 2 feet. I want to roll 2 feet 3 inches or something
Yeah.
like that. It's
Very precise.
and it's the first end, and the ice is curling more than you've been expecting.
Hard! Hard! Yes! Hard!
Oh, that's, ooh. Certainly curl too. Still managed to get the tick and the back one.
Very fortunate there.
Yeah.
If that doesn't make contact with the rock in the rings, this is a draw for 3. 2 is bad enough, but 2 is, it's not. 2s happen all the time. It's
Oh, yes.
that extra point when it comes up as a 3. It's psychologically, it's a big thing.
3 shot, man.
Yeah. Okay. Let's make this. Needful 8. Yeah. 80 still? Still thinking an 80? Yep. So just touch less.
Got a bit more room. You got more room this time.
Whoa. Line's fine. Got a curl.
Just a curl a bit. Yep. There it goes. Hard. Full
Hard,
8.
Megan. Come on, go. Hard, Megan.
Hard line's good.
Go, Megan. Hard, you got it. Push, Megan. Hard, Megan. Come on.
Hard.
They made the port.
Go.
Aaron Barnard are taking a look. If they come to their own, would they have enough for shot?
I think
Looks
so.
like they do.
I think it's good. Yeah.
Good safety, guys.
Gentlemen.
Quick confirmation from the teams. Looks from our camera angle like it's 2. We're going to look at it twice. And she does acknowledge the second point. So Mandy Selzer takes a 2-0 lead here over Lorraine Schneider. Lorraine Schneider will have last rock when we come back.
Freedom is getting lost in the moment and then finding your way. It's the calories that don't count, the late nights, and the memories that last forever. Freedom is diving into life, heart first, hoping to make a splash. It's using your phone however you want, wherever you travel. Freedom is roam and relax US, Mexico, and Caribbean travel rates from SaskTel.
Welcome back. I'm here with one of Canada's top curlers, Chelsea Carey. Chelsea, fans can get really close to the action at a live event. Do you think that's unique to the sport of curling?
Go, Chelsea!
Yes.
At least she's okay. Experience the Scotties Tournament of Hearts live. Buy tickets now at curling.ca.
But they just got enough now. But I saw Amber sitting.
Well, first end completed in all 3 of these games here this morning. We've got scores to report.
Well, Shaylin Fleming was in a lot of trouble in that first end, looking at a lot of yellow rocks there. Amber had a short run in the house onto Fleming's shot rock, though, or 3 points, and jumps out to a big lead. And then over on sheet 2, Janet Tisdale had to hit and roll onto the rings for her second point, made a nice little roll, and scored 2 over Rayanne Williamson.
And we saw over on our sheet the nice draw for 2 points by Mandy Selzer. And we have a quick note that there's certainly, the ice is curling, at least this sheet is,
Yeah.
more than it was the last couple days.
Well, wondering about the other sheets. We were talking about it during the break, but then if you were looking between the scores as they were up on the screen, you could see that center guard really curling hard to finish. And then look at where Lorraine Schneider had the broom to make
get
this
around
draw.
this.
Like, we haven't seen
And
the
look where
broom
it
out
is.
there
Maybe
this
we should
this
put
week.
brooms down before
Yeah.
the break, I guess. I'm
I think it caught both teams a little off guard
In the
in
first
the first end. And
Yeah.
Okay.
I like it.
you know,
Nice
when
try.
you're on your last life, this game could come down to who makes that adjustment quicker. You need more ice, and it does look like it's even faster this morning than what they're expecting.
Yeah.
Yep. Soft.
Yep.
Yep.
Whoa. Stop.
Stop.
I don't think she wants them to sweep.
Curl. Sit down.
That's nice.
Makes the hit. The shooter's going to roll across and will spin back in.
No.
No spin at all there.
No. Okay.
Okay, just like another foot more.
Yeah. Seems pretty close.
She's got 5 feet of ice to make this berry. 5 feet, maybe a little 5 feet plus.
Yeah, that's certainly more than we've
Bit
seen.
more room. Room's down better. Okay, yep. 5. Room. Lots of room still. There it goes now. A little bit later. 3. Keep it going. Good sweeping, ladies.
Comes up a little bit light of what they had in mind. It is biting the top of the 12-foot. Mandy Selzer wants to confirm that. And Lorraine hadn't looked. So she's going to hit it.
Sarah. So should we take, like, what kind of weight?
10.
Again, that looks like a lot.
I think it's okay.
Oh, there's the adjustment again.
10. Whoop.
Trying to convince yourself that that broom's in the right spot.
Clean.
I could see Megan's face when she let that go. I don't think she was happy with her delivery. But she's made the shot right on the nose.
So we didn't need a roll on that.
What?
So we didn't have a flopper. It's a 10? Just
Now
a
I
10?
wondered, like, she bit her lip, but it just looked like she didn't like the delivery. Again, what we've been seeing up until now, if you're a little positive on that release coming from this outside towards center, it runs very straight. I wonder if she didn't just do that a little bit there and thought it was going to go away. And with the extra curl this morning, that still came up to nose.
Yeah.
Oh, yes! You gotta go! Okay, whoa. Just down. Really tight, too. Read out.
Yeah, we certainly haven't seen many cross like that.
But that combination of having less weight than what was called for and being inside the broom will get you across that stone. So
With
well,
ice
sir
that
had the-
curls, yeah.
It will, but you know, that's kind of the, when you've had ice that's been running so straight on those hits, that's kind of your tendency when you're in the hacks. If I'm throwing a hit, I'm not going to be heavy and I'm not going to be wide. You always figure you can get away with the other side of it a little bit and the sweepers can hold it. But extra curl here this morning, and even on the hits,
Yep, right back, finisher. Hard, Sarah.
it's almost like they have to readjust. They could go back to the way they were throwing before they got here.
Keep going.
Oh,
Stop,
coming
stop.
out the other side. Nice, Meg. Okay.
So Lorraine's team following this down, playing the freeze.
Waits there.
Ashley Williamson here.
Mine's good.
I'd like to get down to the corner of that.
Yep. Gotta go.
If you could ever bump it 2 or 3 inches just to have it peek out on the other side, that would be great. But you've got to get the line first.
Hard, girls. You gotta go. Hard. Yep. Freeze it. Okay, whoa. It's good, Ash.
Nice shot. Right out the other side, I think.
They were looking to get to the inside corner, and that just kept curling, but it does give them a way to get that yellow out.
Yep.
Should be long. 7.
Same time as yours, Megan. Line's fine.
7.
Group. 6. Wait only.
Line's good.
Line's nice. Yep. Hard line. Right to it. Hard.
4.
Hard. Line's great. Hard. Go. Hard. Right up, Megan. A little more. Keep going. Hard.
Another nice shot.
Hard. Nice. Just hold it.
Sure.
Now playing the peel.
Okay. You got it.
Larissa has no issue throwing the big weight here. When you learn your
Whoa,
curling
whoa,
in
just clean.
Gainsborough, Saskatchewan, she always told me that it was a little bit heavier ice out there, and learned to throw weight early in her junior career. And as we've seen all these curlers develop big hit weight, we're seeing more and more shots where 3, 4, 5, 6 rocks are moving easily. But, you know, that's a result of that 5 rock rule and rocks being left in play. That's been a crucial part of skill development, is being able to throw that big weight precisely.
Lots of handle on there. Put a bit up. 4, 3,
Okay.
4, 3.
Just let it work.
Let it work.
You're gonna have to bring this Probably have to finish it.
You can go, Sarah.
Yep. Hard, Sarah.
Yeah, go, Sarah.
Hard, Sarah. Keep going.
Go, Sarah.
Hard.
Go.
Come on. Hard. Go. More. Gotta go more. Go. Harder. More.
Aaron said that.
I want to cover this.
It does, Will.
takes it away from
We can
you.
either try this or just draw. Whatever you like. Try this. Okay. If you get the outside, that's good too. Okay. Peel. Perfect. You got it. Just a smidge more, maybe.
How much is a smidge?
Yep, you're looking at me, but
Whoa, whoa,
I think
whoa,
that's
whoa, whoa.
a Regina
Little
team
more
thing.
weight.
You'll have to
Whoa.
turn and ask Susan.
Oof.
Ooh. Well, just a smidge away from disaster there.
You almost yeah, I agree. I think we play this turn still. It's just going to be a draw weight. We can't do it with this turn. It will overcurl.
It really will, I think, yeah. So it probably needs to be higher than theirs,
Yeah.
then, hey? Yeah.
Looking at coming across the top of that one to play the guard. That's a hard visual.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's certainly
With the
can
amount
be
of curl
done.
that
It's
we've got,
just
it would be hard
yeah,
to make that guard from the other turn.
which is exactly what she
Kinda
said.
same
You know,
Yeah.
you don't
Little
even
more on
have
the
to
red.
play the guard here. You could just try to bring another
it's
one
gonna be
in
a
now with
two.
that guard
That's
right on the
what
center
I
line.
thought. Yeah,
Like,
just
I
plain
thought she
come
might.
around.
Well, especially too with Lorraine already indicating she's thinking that she's going to need a come around draw to outcount that shot rock. That's to outcount shot rock. So you put another guard up, and she's just going to come right in.
Yeah, exactly.
1, 2.
Whoa. One.
Yep.
A 1, 2 is fine.
Line's great. Go, 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 go. Hard, hard, hard.
You're here.
Can you finish?
Need to work a bit.
Keep going. Hard, hard,
There
hard, hard.
goes.
Get
Yep.
it over. Hard.
Yep, keep it
Come on, Sarah,
moving.
push.
There's the big curl.
Hard. Go, go, go.
Hard,
Little more, little more.
Working
little
hard
more.
for the hog line.
There's the big hog line.
Keep going. Whoa.
Yes, keep going.
That's fine.
And exactly that. I think we'll see
I think
Lorraine just
mine
come
was
around,
very
try to get her
straighter,
too.
like mine.
Skips deuce.
Okay. Alrighty. Both there. Yep.
Wow,
Okay,
for Lorraine,
that's what she's going to play, but you know, I don't know that that guard curled enough. She could probably play. There you go.
For her release, maybe?
Yeah, maybe.
Well, we
with
can't
her
see
extension.
the long yellow one yet, but I think,
Oh, there it
and
is.
again,
Yeah.
we're not directly behind. Yeah, there you go.
I like it. 'Cause
She
in
could-
practice, I was
She could
39,
play the
you
red
can
yellow
go
if she wanted to,
Okay.
and
So
still
if I give you lots more rotation.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
leave
let's
herself the whole
rotate
4-foot for
forward.
her last one. Of course, you're expecting Mandy Selzer
got it
will come
forward.
around. So maybe get there first.
Line's good.
T-line.
Okay, be sure. Room.
Back 4.
Back 8.
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
Okay,
it's running. Still back 4, back 8.
Yeah. Back 12.
Well, you have to be shot rock here,
Yeah.
and this has got a lot of speed coming through. Back 4, back 8 might have been optimistic.
Okay.
It's one of those numbers that you call out hoping that's what it is.
90.
Draw,
Yeah.
you know,
So I think
Slides through the back.
15. Yeah, okay.
Now a chance for Mandy Selzer to loop one around, sit 2, and if she could
Yes.
catch the top of the button,
Make it pretty
Lorraine
hard.
Schneider would probably have to move it. I don't think she'd have enough of the button to play a draw to count.
Just draw and behind.
Tolerance is a bit short.
Yeah. Now what am I throwing?
Nice positive release.
So Mandy Selzer with her final stone here in the second end, already
Line's
with a
good.
2-point lead.
Weight's close.
Line's good. Just top 4.
Yep.
Sitting shot
Yep.
rock
Line.
buried and a chance to
Yes.
bring another
Yes,
one in
line.
and possibly set up a steal,
Yes.
even as much as 2
Good.
more here.
Good.
Make it
Top
good.
4. Top 4.
Hard.
Gotta bite the 4.
Line's really
Hard,
nice.
guys.
Looks
Come
really
on.
good coming by the guard.
Hard. Go, go.
Got to get
go,
more
go,
than
go,
full
more.
8.
Hard. Only get second. That's good.
Looks like they did.
Nope, you didn't.
Yeah, caught second shot.
Okay, you got this.
Left full 4 though
There you go, Maddie.
for Lorraine.
This
Doesn't
is going to
match.
sound funny, but that looks tight for ice. That was the same ice they were taking.
Because I think
to come behind the
Yeah.
guard a foot off the center line.
And I was just going to say, you don't have to be anywhere near any of those guards. You just have to draw full 4. So you could take plenty. Although I'm guessing she maybe wants to stay in the same path. Although that shouldn't be an issue here in the second end.
Where is it? Back
Lorraine
forward.
Schneider a little warm on her first draw attempt. Needs 4 foot here to pick up her single.
Are you curling?
Nothing
now?
under the brushers yet, but they're staying close.
Yeah, don't touch it.
Well, line is fine.
A little warm on her first, and still just that little bit too warm on her second. It slides to the back 12. Looks like it will be a steal of 2. They confirm it's a steal of 2. Mandy Selzer jumps out to a 4-0 lead. Lorraine Schneider continues to have last rock.
What did I give you?
We all dream about our future. It takes only a moment for those dreams to shatter. My daughter's dreams are over. She lost her life using her phone while driving.
As Canada's grain industry leader, Viterra and its employees are connected to their communities across Western Canada. Through its community investment program, Viterra supports a wide variety of causes and initiatives, including those focused on sports and recreation that encourage teamwork, integrity, and high performance. These same values guide Viterra's employees when providing farm customers with trusted advice and quality service. Viterra is a proud sponsor of the Scotties Tournament of Hearts.
Welcome back. I'm here with one of Canada's top curlers, Chelsea.
Hello and welcome back, everybody. Well, over on sheet 1, the Amber Holland Shallon Fleming game. Amber Holland's team is making everything, and Shallon Fleming's team is struggling out there. Shallon was drawing against 4, had pretty nice weight, but over curl came up against 4th shot there and gave up a steal of 4, 7-0 right now after 2 ends for Amber Holland. Moving over to sheet 2, a complete opposite of the first end. It was all Williamson team. Rayanne made no mistake and hit and stayed for 3 points. We now have a 3-2 game. Rayanne Williamson over Jana Tisdale.
And we saw the steal of 2 over on our feature sheet. So score there as we watch them play right now is 4-0 for Mandy Selzer. So they threw it top 4, and you just saw Lorraine throwing the corner guard.
Good throw. Thanks. Go that was better. Out for that. Better? I think that's enough.
But the big news here this morning is we've got a lot more curl, I think, is what I see is happening. Something's changed overnight, which is a good thing.
Not curling yet. Right now. Gotta come a long ways. Okay, Aaron, go. Aaron, yeah. Doesn't help us as a corner. So hard. Bring it in. Hard.
Got a ways to go to finish this one, but it's getting there.
Stuck. Yeah. Good throw. For us? Yeah.
Leaves it mostly exposed.
How much do you have?
Not only does it leave it mostly exposed, it's almost a corner guard.
Well, that's just it. If you're going to leave it exposed, you certainly wished it was the other side so that Jill DeGoey does not have this opportunity to hit and roll under.
Okay, Jill.
But it looks like they're going to leave that and draw under right now.
Okay, waist close. Just up 8. Room still. Larissa in.
Up 8.
Yep. Hard. Hard, Ash. Go, go, go. Go, go, go. Great judge. Okay.
2 very nice stones by Jill to start setting up this end for Lorraine Schneider.
You see any of it? You want to play it?
Where's Buck on the way?
Down.
Or one more here?
Yeah. Either or.
Could do that.
Well,
Don't you just love it as a skip when you call down and ask what they want to play, and
Yeah,
they just
we'll
say,
play draw
okay,
and
whatever,
get
either or, you pick.
no, when they say
I was
whatever you
asking
like.
your opinion for a reason. Pick one.
Yeah. Well, and here's where the 5 rock rule comes in too.
Yeah.
You can't touch the top one, whereas normally it's not a bad miss if you want to say it. So either or,
Nice.
get the top one or this one, and you can't in the 5th
Yep.
rock of the end.
Hard
So
line.
this is
Hard
fun.
line. Hard. Hard. Line's great.
Weight's good. It's to it.
Plug it over
Tap it a
curl.
bit.
Whoa.
That's okay.
Sit.
That's okay.
No.
It's fine.
It's fine.
That's good too.
It's a little past the nose of that
Get
stone, but
that.
actually that should be enough
Even
to
if you
bury the
get
top
that,
one.
roll. It's pretty good.
So you got a lot of options here.
Okay, bump.
But I believe the first call is playing the back one, hit and roll behind the other corner.
It was a little down, yeah.
Was almost bored, right?
Yeah.
So hit something yellow and roll somewhere good.
You can't miss.
So Ashley
Yep.
Williamson delivering
Hard,
this
Jill.
stone, a former provincial champion. She curled lead for Jolene Campbell 2016 when they won the province up in Prince Albert.
She's not getting the back one. Gonna make the hit on the top stone that was pretty much dead buried.
Almost
She hit half a
overburied.
rock.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't mind kind of going under there.
Well, that curled the whole way across, even before
Yeah.
it got to the line, because as we saw yesterday, it would stay on
9-5.
the other side of the line for quite some time before it would finally get to the line and then make its move. But that was a steady curl the whole way across. So this is getting exciting to see how everybody's going to adjust to this.
Yeah, and that's still a good result. They didn't get the shooter buried, but you've got Mandy
Whoa,
Selzer
whoa,
making a play on that
whoa.
stone. There might be a double available at the very least. Mandy's going to have nothing behind cover. You've got 2 corner guards to work with.
Okay.
The center has been cluttered every end up until now. Lorraine's actually got a
I
setup
don't mind the same. It's fine.
that she's comfortable with.
Your weight was good.
Yes, for sure.
Still have to execute a couple of shots here along the way, but
We need a little more.
Yeah, I'm thinking she's liking the way this is headed.
pick up your deuce here, and let's be honest, with the house set up the way it is right now, 3's not out of the question at all.
Close. Yep.
And it's only the 3rd end. It's a long way to go.
Hard. Whoa, 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 whoa. Back, baby. Go, Jill, go.
Well, there's a bonus. She actually gets both of them moving, and the shooter's going to hang on to the edge of the 12-foot, so she's got shot rock buried. 3rd shot at the back of the 12.
What do you see?
Think a 10 maybe?
10, okay.
That or bumper even. I think so.
I think
less. No,
Like,
no, less
she
weight.
thinks less weight.
What about bump?
Just want to make sure we move that guard if we're going to
Good bump.
No. Okay, bumper.
Let's just do good bump.
Yeah.
Little up.
Yep. Yep.
Gotta go.
Called early.
Hard. Hard, quick. Hard. Yep, hard, quick. Hard. Hard. Whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Roll it, Sarah.
Will be
Easy.
on the guard.
Get out. Okay, that's
And that's
good.
the advantage to throwing the quieter weight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you do happen to crash the guard, she brings her shooter into the rings. It's 3rd. And there's a double on those yellows. You can make the double and sit 3 right now, and
That's the call.
they're all
Think
spread
maybe
out.
Here.
No, we didn't have hammer in that.
Right. What kind of weight, sorry? I think here. Okay. I'm gonna go.
So for the Selzer team, the bonus is you roll the shooter into the rings. The bad thing is you rolled it right to the top
Yeah.
corner of the other one.
Yeah.
Whoa. Lead's good. Whoa, 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 whoa. Ash. Whoa. Ash, yep. Ash, yep. Hard.
Sweeping for a little extra curl on this one. Makes the hit, clips the second stone. Not going to be enough to get it out.
Sticks around, though.
And sticks for
It's
second
important.
shot.
Okay. It's pretty
that?
risky to go at shot, though, don't you?
Okay, 9-5.
So looking at hitting the same shot that you just threw at.
Yes, hard. Hard.
Quick.
Really hard.
Quick.
Gotta go. Hard.
Gotta go.
Hard. Right up hard. Quick. Gotta go. Hard, guys. Hard, 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 hard. Really hard. No roll. Okay, that's fine.
Rolls a little bit, but still third shot. Counting out that red one at the back.
What kind of weight do you guys like?
Do you think like a
Be tough to bring that one back into play now, so you may as well just
Yep.
play the draw. There's still a chance to set up 3 here.
For sure. Yep. No, this setup is still nice for the Schneider team.
Well, especially where you see where on the first shot there, how the yellow went to the back house. That's kind of helping the red one right now. It's going to make it a little bit more difficult to remove it if it gets to that stage.
Really,
Coming down.
a ton. Can you go back?
Whoa, no, you can't.
Back 12 even?
No, 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 no.
Not the numbers you want to hear.
No, this needed to be in front of the tee line somewhere.
just run better here?
Okay.
And you know, that's the second one we've seen already. We should point out, we're not just picking on the shooters. It's not just that the throwers are getting thrown off on the weight. The sweepers keep calling for those rocks to be in. It seems to be fooling all of them. It's even the sweepers think those rocks are not as deep as they are. I think that's the second time we've seen a rock go through that they're still calling back 8.
Yeah, at least the second, maybe the third.
What kind of weight are you?
9-5.
You think a hair more? Or more weight?
I can up the weight. I don't really
I'm
know.
wondering if,
I'll up the weight
feel like we're going to nose her with
to
this.
9.
Straight through. Whoa!
Whoa. Yes.
Whoa!
No! Up!
Whoa!
More than 9-5.
Whoa!
Whoa.
Whoa!
Off.
Curl. Curl.
Yep!
No! No!
Yeah, little bit.
You're fine.
Good shot.
Picks it out clean.
I think you were probably like an 8-7. But that's good.
I guess maybe a little higher.
They probably like
Yes, with the
Yeah, they
luxury of
didn't
having
like the ice,
second and
so
third shot
it's,
before Mandy threw, she didn't have to worry about keeping her shooter to outcount that little back red one. So was able just to play the straight peel pick and give Lorraine this shot back. But lots of room there for Lorraine to work with now, but lots of room also for Mandy to answer whatever Lorraine puts in here.
Yeah, you did see Lorraine take a look at those 2 on the outside just to see which one had second shot. And it matters, because if you're sitting second there, you might have to find a way to deal with that stone at the back, or at least have the potential to deal with it to bring 3 into the equation. But it is the yellow
Right.
sitting second, so she's just going to play the straight come around here.
It's good. All you. All there. Room's down. Where is it? Curling already.
Top floor.
Curling
Yes,
already.
curl.
You got room still.
Gotta go.
Top 8 for sure.
Coming down.
Girls. Hard line. Hard. Hard. Finish it. Hard. Go, go, go. Hard. Right back. That's good. That's good.
Nice shot by Lorraine.
You might be able to get rid of it.
What did you guys get there? Like a 10 combined? Yeah.
I think it'll curl in there.
With like
I'll
a
throw
10.
the 9-5. I got the same. I can see like part of
Oh,
it.
it looks overburied to me.
No, it's not. They can see probably half from the hut.
Quickly turn our attention to The last rock in the third end on sheet one. Shallon Fleming in a heap of trouble again, looking to play a run back against 3. Bounces it off a couple, but it's going to be a steal of at least
Probably
one.
2.
Looks like just the one, I think.
I think it's going to be.
You think it'll be
Also
2?
9-5.
Yeah.
You're going to look real hard at that. It's hard to tell where the shooter stopped versus there's one at the back.
Move in there to pick
There
it
it
up.
is. You can see it now.
Shallon on her first one had a really nice pocket of those 2 back yellows to draw
Bunch of
into
by the
and was
front.
just a little bit heavy. Amber came down and drew the top button, and Shallon, it just took away basically any shot. Shallon had to get shot rock.
Looks like they are going to have to measure over there. On our sheet, Mandy Selzer has decided
Close.
to try to make a play on that stone. You can see from the hack view that the stone in the rings is dead buried. She needs a little finish past the guard. Gets enough, picks it out. Mandy Selzer sitting 2 once again when Lorraine Schneider comes to throw her last one.
So Lorraine just looking to repeat what she just did. Draw anywhere at least 8 foot for the point. Change things up a little. Hopefully take her one and get the Selzer team coming at them.
Well, that's just it, Kim. Your point. Sometimes, at least just getting on the board, changing the end around, getting those center rocks going and drawing into that 4 foot sets you up for another steal or for a steal. So as much as 2 points would be nice, changing the flow of the game here is sometimes just as important.
Line's good. T. Full 8 for sure. Not curling as much. Full 8. T. Curling a little, yep. Can't hurt it.
Pressure's just cleaning it. Pick it up a little bit more now.
Nicely done. Puts it right on the
At
tee
8
line.
foot, puts it in the 4, gets her single. She's on the board, but it is Mandy Selzer with a 4-1 lead and last rock as we go to the 4th.
Welcome back. I'm here with one of Canada's top curlers, Chelsea Carey. Chelsea, fans can get really close to the action at a live event. Do you think that's unique to the sport of curling?
Go, Chelsea! Yes.
At least she's okay. Experience the Scotties Tournament of Hearts live. Buy tickets now at curling.ca.
Totally my first time. I'm very excited. Don't worry, you're gonna have a great time. We're gonna practice and then we're gonna actually play games. Really? Yeah. Awesome.
Not better. Yeah. Could be better.
Want to try it and have some fun? Hurry hard to your local curling center or visit CurlSask.ca to find a curling center near you.
Freedom is getting lost in the moment and then finding your way. It's the calories that don't count, the late nights, and the memories that last forever. Freedom is diving into life, heart first, hoping to make a splash. It's using your phone however you want, wherever you travel. Freedom is roam and relax US, Mexico, and Caribbean travel rates from SaskTel.
Well, no shortage of scoring here in this morning's C event action. We've got a few more scores to report.
After Dennis Smith did the measurement, Amber Holland did indeed count 2, and there are just times you wish you could bank some of those points and take them with you to the next game. So 9-0 lead there for Amber. Straightforward third end in the Tisdale-Williamson game led to a blank. That score remains 3-2 playing the fourth end.
And we saw on our feature sheet, Lorraine made a nice draw for her 1 point. However,
if you could just see it behind the scores there,
Yeah.
you see. And I was shaking my head and wondering about the call. You put up the center guard, they come around it, but they left you enough that you could see it. And she decides to play at it with weight, crash the guard, and you've lost your guard. Like,
exactly.
you're down 3. You could have frozen to that rock. You didn't need to throw weight.
Or you could have thrown another guard on top
You
of
could
it
have
all.
thrown another guard. Well, the yellow wasn't even guarded. It was a little off.
Yeah. Or guard your
Yeah,
own, whatever.
I don't know what you're doing playing a hit down
Yeah.
3.
It's hard. 75? Yeah. What did you get on her first one? 85. Okay. 95? Yeah. Yeah. You got this.
And now you're kind of committed
Yeah.
to cleaning things up because you've got nothing to work with in the middle. You can't give up another deuce.
It's good. Little Jill. Jill.
Jill, I can tell you,
Yeah. Gotta
well,
go
Mandy
hard.
Selzer's pretty happy
Hard,
with
hard,
this
hard.
situation.
Whoa. 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 Yep.
Roll. Okay, right in between, Ash. Kind of weight. What is that? 9-2.
Now gives
I like over there.
Ladder on top.
Yeah. Like a little tree. Yep.
Mandy a chance to come right around. No
You got it.
threat, no danger anywhere.
Looks like a lot, but I think it might be okay. It's curling more than yours. So. Whoa. Whoa. Yeah. Sit down. Curl.
Oh, sit. Okay.
Really want to be there, though.
No, looking to come around that corner guard, but they
Yeah.
wanted to be in front of the tee line. In fact, I think that's probably the only reason they were coming around the guard. You could have split the house, but
Yeah.
you didn't like having a rock behind the tee line, behind a guard. Thought maybe you could put one in front of it. Now you've got something for Ashley Williamson to try to draw to.
Yep. Room. Yep.
These aren't the kind of shots with Lorraine Schneider that you can try to set up a steal here, but
Weight's good.
you could get a force, and she'd take that right now. Try to get that hammer back and see if she could generate a
Go,
deuce.
go, go, go. Line's perfect. Go. Hard. Little tap, little tap.
Boy, great job by the brushes to hold the line on that. If she curls past the nose, the yellow might still be shot.
90 should be good, Nick. I think we're still too much, Sarah.
Where?
I think we're 6.
Yeah, then. Yes. Hard. Hard line.
Gotta go.
Line.
Hard,
Mandy
guys.
Selzer still not at all uncomfortable to play this whole end on the corner,
Yeah.
but this one's really curling and maybe just that little bit light.
Over curling.
Yeah, sweeping weight.
Okay.
Well, it was close to the weight that she wanted. Trying to, she'd been over there in
Do you
the
like
8
here?
foot.
Sure.
That would have set up a very
Yeah,
nice line
probably the
into
call.
that red for a jam, but
I don't mind it.
it
Yep.
really over curled. That broom was on the edge of the button.
Now throwing the center guard.
Three's good. 3-4. 3-4. 3. Make sure it's a 3-4. 2 for sure. Hard then. Hard. Line's fine. Hard, Jill. You gotta go. Hard. Hard. Okay, easy now. Easy. We're gonna overcurl. It's good.
So such a difference from yesterday because that broom was middle of the 12 foot there. That was a very positive release by Larissa. Lots of rotation and still came across that center line.
Might be a little tight.
Aaron
Yeah,
Barnhart
line.
being asked to come around that center guard.
Yeah, line.
Yep.
Hard
Gotta
line.
go line.
Did this call surprise you at all?
Gotta go line.
line. Hard line.
Well,
last rock
Gotta
here.
go hard. Gotta go line.
They're not peeling?
Gotta go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hard. Okay, yeah, go, go, go.
She made the call so quickly and decisively. I was wondering which way do you peel it? You could peel it towards the one of the 12-foot, maybe pick it out and sit 3.
Yeah.
You couldn't hurt yourself if you jammed it onto anything yellow.
Probably better for the
But
roll.
Mandy's
Even
team
just
has
half under.
never been afraid to play with rocks in play. That's a pretty standard call for Mandy. She's always got the foot on the gas pedal, and I wasn't surprised that she didn't call the peel. That's how they played
That's
this
their
game for
plan.
years.
Yeah.
Yep. 10. Hard. Yep. Hard. Hard. Really hard. Whoa.
And Susan, would that be their game plan if this was the same score in the 6th, 7th, or 8th then?
For sure.
Really?
In a 10-end game.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, even in an 8-end game with Mandy, we've all played against each other enough, and she's very good at drawing that top 4-foot fearlessly. So,
Okay.
this is the game plan they're comfortable with. And
Yeah, and that's all well and good. That's fine. But I would argue that it's not foot on the gas pedal, because by playing the draw, she's taken away her chance to bring those 3 counters or those 3 biters back into count.
Well, it's only 12 foot right now. We'll have this side open. Yeah. It's the same weight? Yeah. I think that would have been 2.
Now looking to ask Erin Barnhart to come around both of those stones, and I think she looked at both sides. Again, with the amount of curl we've got here today, it would be really tough to come around from the wide side.
7, 6.
Yeah, unless
I don't know
you're
where you'd have
holding
to put
the broom up at
yeah.
the hog line.
Hard.
Gotta go line.
Gotta go hard. Quick, hard. Hard.
More.
Hard. Right up. Hard. Right up. Right up. Right to it.
Just a little short on the weight.
It is dead buried, but I don't see the angles helping them at all.
That's not horrible. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Well, we know with
Certainly
this
not this
amount
late
of
in the end.
Yeah. Well, with this amount of curl, you can bury around that one in the top 8 pretty easily. And with those staggered up there in the top of the 8, it's
probably best to
one
go
of those
here.
never to be seen again.
Try and get buried.
Yeah. Tolerance is light, right?
Tolerance is, here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so let's try here.
Yep.
We got to take a lot of ice, though. I gave Jill here. She was 2, though. But I'm still thinking, I give myself here, and I'm still coming across. Yeah, I think a bit more, just to be safe.
Okay.
Because we can afford to be by, right?
Yeah. We just can't afford to be open now.
Right.
I feel on this one.
It's better, yeah.
So. Unless she asks. Yeah.
Okay. So this is a hair more than my, draws the button stuff.
Sounds good.
So looking to
If we can
draw
get
right
the
around
corner
there.
of The button, that's great. Okay. It's a little tricky, though, because we don't want to bounce off and be open so they can hit and roll under, and we don't want to be deep.
Right.
So my tolerance is, light.
Okay. Sounds good.
Do you think the same weight as last time, though?
Yeah. I think so. Yeah. That should be pretty good. You got it.
Trailing by 3, Lorraine Schneider. Chance here to
Brooms down, Jill.
bury one at the corner of the button, perhaps set up a steal.
Line's good.
Back 4. Back 4. Backy.
Hold in.
Backy.
Curl.
Yep.
Going sideways. Yes. Yes.
We've seen a lot of curl, but that one seemed to pick up some spin, too. I think that one
I think
grabbed.
that one picked, yeah.
It's okay. Okay. That's okay.
It's almost a
Hit and roll, and we'll hit that, but
we went from being it.
Yeah, they can play the hit and roll, even come off the back of that a little bit.
9-5.
I think. Yeah. Is this right? Your way, right?
Yeah. I think so. Half a rock or so. Yeah.
Well, if there weren't 2 kinds of luck, Lorraine Schneider wouldn't be having any so far today.
Yeah, that's
She
tough.
actually had a decent shot coming in on that one, and then it grabbed. We're going to turn our attention quickly next door to sheet 2. Janet Tisdale with her last one. I don't know whether she was playing the straight draw or whether she was hoping to get to that stone and move it.
Well, Rayanne Williamson just drew that yellow rock in there on her last one. They called a timeout. They were in big trouble until that draw got in there. Coach Darcy Hugebert came out and they discussed their options because there was nothing they could hit. So Rayanne Williamson, they put it back nicely into that back 8. And I think Jana was trying to tap. Because they were sitting with looking at multiples all hand long.
Yeah. Well, and they had a few rocks around the 8 foot. She didn't need to move it very far, but you throw that little bit extra weight to get the tap. She didn't get the line she needed and slides by. It's a steal of 1. Mandy Selzer makes the hit. She was hoping to get off the back end of that red, maybe get into behind cover, but it hit it pretty solid.
Pretty
stays
thick.
Oh,
in the open.
Try and like 3/4 of it. They're
That's hard for them to get
if we
shot.
can nose, that's great, but I'm not flirting with that guard.
No.
Do you like board, or do you like a bit more like a 10? Maybe.
I like 10.
Maybe 10.
Yeah, because you saw 10 with Ashley.
I gave you this much for a 10. I thought you're maybe just a hair tight, so maybe this here for me. Like I'd rather afford to be on 3/4 and roll this way, right?
Yeah.
I'd argue you're better off to roll to the other side of center.
Nose is ideal, yeah. Okay, try for.
And
like,
why
nose
is that?
Great.
Well, to take away more of the draw path, and I really don't think the double for shot's going to be there when you look at where the back end of this rock is going to be after she hits.
Okay, sounds good. You got it.
All right, girls, nice 10 here.
Yeah, Mandy will just be drawing for your 1, and if you can have this one stop anywhere that's sort of in the path, that would be helpful.
They'll have to put the broom on the boards to get past any rock that's sitting on the top 12 foot.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Forward! Whoa!
Might get her into some fresh ice. This is going to have to curl a bit to stay.
Hard!
Good
Some
shot.
good movement at the end. Makes the hit, rolls. Stays for shot rock at the edge. Does leave her the draw path.
That was on me. Good sweep.
And there's really no half shot on this draw. You either get full 8 foot and count 1 or you don't. So here we are just switching over to the Fleming Holland game. Amber showing no mercy. Just drew that her yellow shot into the back button. Shallon trying to follow down, get a little tap for 2 points. It looks like she might have stayed for the 1.
It's hard to tell there. She took a spin when she rolled off. It's going to be 1 point either way. It'll be 1 for the Reds.
Gotta go, line!
Shallon Fleming on the board there.
Gotta go!
And Mandy Selzer.
Line's okay!
They jumped the sweep right away.
Full 8!
Gotta go.
Needs full 8 foot to pick up her single point here, drawing against 3.
Go. Make sure you're
Full
there.
8 is what you need.
Okay, sorry.
Sweeper's just cleaning now.
Sorry.
Maybe a little panic at the beginning. It actually comes into the back 4 foot. That's enough to pick up her single point, and she'll take a 5-1 lead into the 5th.
Good throw.
As Canada's grain industry leader, Viterra and its employees are connected to their communities across Western Canada. Through its community investment program, Viterra supports a wide variety of causes and initiatives, including those focused on sports and recreation that encourage teamwork, integrity, and high performance. These same values guide Viterra's employees when providing farm customers with trusted advice and quality service. Viterra is a proud sponsor of the Scotties Tournament of Hearts.
Welcome back. I'm here with one of Canada's top curlers, Chelsea Carey. Chelsea, fans can get really close to the action at a live event. Do you think that's unique to the sport of curling?
Go, Chelsea! Yes.
At least she's okay. Experience the Scotties Tournament of Hearts live. Buy tickets now at curling.ca.
Curling fans, well, happy to report for the Shallon Fleming team that they did get shot rock on that. On the scoreboard, Amber Holland with a very convincing 9-1 lead playing the 5th end. We just saw the Williamson team sneak out that steal there in that 4th end, so they now have a 4-2 lead over Jana Tisdale.
And with a nice draw for her 1 point against 3, Mandy Selzer's up by 4, 5-1 in our feature game. And they draw to the top 4. Or side 4, I guess you could say.
That was a very nice draw by Mandy, because there was, you either got full 8 foot and got your 1 point, or because everything's all in the same position around the 8 foot, there was no cutting any rocks out on that draw. It was, that was an all or nothing. So well played.
Curling now. Gotta go. Got some room still. Ashley in. Easy, girl. All there, though. Whoa, whoa, whoa. 16. Yep. Now go. Good. Nice, Jill.
Just freeze on that one.
Yeah, right on top.
Up here's okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
12
Pretty
center.
close.
Fine too.
Oh, same as probably.
Selzer team not looking for any rocks in front of the rings now. That first one, you know, you'd like to stack them on the center line, but
Line's good.
just see the end of it as we were doing the score update. They go sideways as they're coming into the house. It looked like they were going to have center line. It ends up on the corner of the 4 foot.
Yeah.
Just top 12. Whoa, you're by it.
Okay. I was hoping for a rub. Pass today.
Go back a bit.
We're right beside them, man.
Okay.
No, it's
Nice
not
weight.
Weight was really good.
Yeah.
Hung.
10.
Okay.
You got it.
All right.
Yep. Weight's good. Yep. Really hard. Whoa.
So Sean, you referred to
Oh, yeah,
Jill
yeah,
DeGoye's mixed doubles titles, and that they're the defending champions right now.
Yeah.
They just won it last few months ago, so they'll be off to nationals.
How's it weight?
So it's been fun watching the development of the mixed doubles and the excitement that's created and the people that are interested in it. It's fast-paced, lots of strategy, quick game,
Little up. Clean.
and
Yes!
lots of people are focusing on that
Hard!
discipline now
Gotta
instead
go.
of even the traditional curling.
Right to it. Easy. Whoa. Up. Okay. Nice. Shot.
That's probably like a 90.
That's a big. Like, cool.
Makes the hit,
Yeah,
rolls
you're
to the
right.
corner now with only one rock in the 4 foot.
Okay.
You'll see
Right in
Lorraine
there.
Schneider ignore that, try to use her corner guard.
Okay. You gotta go.
Gave a bit.
Okay. Okay. Line's pretty
Toppy.
good. Toppy. Okay, room.
Hard line.
Not curling yet. Line
There
only.
goes.
Yep.
Gotta go.
Yeah,
Hard
line. Hard. Yeah, line's good. Hard. Good weight, Ash. Sorry.
Just rubs that guard, but does get the shooter into the rings.
Don't mind that way going this way.
Yeah. Give you a good 9-5.
Yes.
Yep.
Yep. Hard.
Hard.
Gotta go. Hard.
Hard.
Right up.
On the brush right away on this one.
Hard.
Yep. We're
Hard.
gonna get this other one. It's okay.
Sorry, guys.
Not going to get by the guard, does kill it. They kept the sweep on all the way. If she had just hit it a little thinner, she might have got both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. As it turns out, her shooter stuck around in the rings after doing a little rearranging.
Yeah. That might be more helpful to Lorraine Schneider than it is to Mandy Selzer.
Yeah, the one in the back 12.
Yeah, there's no guards left to work with. So
Yeah.
Just bump. Bump it.
something you can freeze to is always helpful, or something that might get jammed on.
Got this.
It's looking for a soft weight, hit and roll over to that other yellow. Start working with Mandy's
Yep.
rocks for some protection.
Whoa, off. Larissa.
Another option, though, too, is just
Really
to start
hard.
bumping rocks
Whoa,
back
whoa,
to
whoa,
get the
Jill,
12-foot
Jill.
heavy draw.
Good shot. Kinda go. Yeah, that really jumped. Oh, I'm not getting times very good. You didn't have enough ice, but.
Good 9-5.
I think it's getting a bit straighter.
So looking to hit this and keep the shooter around to still be sitting 3.
Little wobble there on the delivery and had to call the sweep on right away.
Yeah, hard! Come on, quick, hard! Clean! Easy! Whoa! 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 Off. No. Sorry.
Makes the hit, but the shooter will roll all the way across and out the back. Maybe a little over panicked on the sweep call there. Erin had that little bit of a wobble when she came out. She called them on right away, but
What am I doing? Drawing?
Well, I
or
think
what?
they've seen so
I
many
think
rocks over
just
curl
no.
that once you
We can
lose it, you
freeze
can't
if
get
you
it
want, I
back.
think
So
Yeah, you like
just
that?
being cautious, and same with that 4-point lead, you can afford to have a half shot here right now.
You got it.
Well, if Larissa Murray can get something into this back yellow,
Mine's good.
all of a sudden,
It's all you.
Mandy has to start getting quite concerned about how that back corner is going to start building up on her.
Hard. T-line. Right to it. Hard. Really, really good. Okay. Yep. Keep it going. Hard. Right to it. Go, Ash. Go. Good.
curls a little bit past the nose, but it does stay in front of it, and it is shot rock.
I was like, I don't know. What kind of weight are you playing at? 9.5. That weight was good last time.
Okay, I'll just try and have a decent slide this time.
Okay. Jesus Christ.
It is Sunday morning.
Yes, that's right.
No, can't.
She said she was going to try to have a decent slide. She didn't promise
Promise
anything.
it.
And
No.
not a thing under the brush so far.
Good.
That's fine.
Makes
But now
the double, but rolls
Things
her
get
shooter out of play.
interesting now.
So
That little red rock up at the front is starting to become more important.
yeah, this is the chance to hit and lie too, and they'll be spread out.
I don't think you'll get a good freeze on that one. What? I don't think you'll get a good freeze on it.
Sadly said 9.5.
Yeah. You got it.
Some discussion at the hack end, I think, about the freeze, but I like this call. If it's tough to get a good freeze on it, as you said, and if you ever make it really good, she's just going to hit the other rock anyway. You're not getting more than 2 here.
Whoa. Jill.
How you got? A little bit.
Hard. Good.
Makes the hit, rolls in a little bit.
Yeah.
Is shot rock in the 8-foot.
So 2 shots later, and all of a sudden, 2 rocks sitting there for Selzer are
just
long
open
gone,
for now.
and
So
Lorraine's
we roll
got a
underneath,
chance
we're
here
kinda
to
behind.
get
Like
at least
just
2
hit.
back if they can run the rest of this end out.
What do you think?
Well, the discussion now needs to be, where do you want to roll? Do you want to roll
I
behind?
like that. How
And
many now?
the initial concern when they talked about it was they'd be behind the tee line. That's not necessarily bad. Or you could play nose, hope Lorraine Schneider noses, and would that be high enough then to leave a double?
Exactly.
Just hit and roll.
9.5?
Yep.
Got it, man.
Won't be too much ice, actually.
No, thanks, Mandy. Aaron had 2 wonky slides, so
No,
a little
theirs
hard to
wouldn't curl
get
much
that.
either. Hairless? Or not.
Or not.
Does that
Well, it
mean
doesn't
the broom
hurt-
holder said
yeah.
no?
It doesn't hurt to tighten it up here because, as you say, if we get the nose hit, then you get another nose, and maybe you're going to set up that double. So better to nose than roll out because you had too much ice.
Hard! Quick! Hard! Roll it! No, shoot.
Makes the hit, rolls about a rock width.
Good, man. We can throw 10 with, we threw this with Ash, right?
That's nice.
10 about there? Sure.
Okay, let's do this.
It seems like it runs and then it'll finish a little bit at the end. 10.
Okay.
Yeah. Just roll Ashley's way.
Sounds good.
You got it. All right, nice throw here.
Yep, 10-5. Whoa.
Yep. Get on it. Yep. Hard.
looking to roll to the open side. She's going to get just the nose hit here.
Good sweep. That's good.
Even Mandy, so
Think this?
probably threw closer to what, 9-2 you think, or was that 9-5?
Kicked out real hard, so I had to throw the anchor a bit.
Wait.
All right, you got her.
So Mandy Selzer with her final stone here in the 5th end, looking to hit and roll behind that red stone in the top 12 foot.
9-5. Easy. Off.
Easy. Clean.
Close.
Yes! Yep. Hard!
Curled up to the nose on her first one. She called them off early on this one.
Yep. Yes, hard! Roll it! Go!
Maybe just over curled that little bit again. The curl still catching them. Makes the hit, but stays out in the open.
A bit less weight, I think.
You got this.
So a chance now for Lorraine Schneider to pick up her first deuce of this game.
To your point there, Sean, the curl catching them because the sweepers just said she had a little bit less weight, so she saw the amount of ice that she had, just didn't 100% believe it, brought her weight down, and it was enough to stay out in the open with the shot versus rolling.
Whoa. Clean. Ashley. Ash. Clean.
Yep.
Just clean. Clean it. Nice throw. Yep.
Makes the hit, does stay in the 8 foot, picks up her 2 points. Mandy Selzer will have a 5-3 lead as we go into the 5th end break. And Kim has made her way down to ice level and has Mandy with her now.
Yes, I do. I have Mandy right here. Scoreboard says great start to the game.
Yeah, I'm happy with how we're playing today. It's an improvement from yesterday, so if we can just keep building on that, that would be great. We got fortunate with the steal there of 2 points in the 2nd end, so just got to keep playing the way we are.
Alrighty. Anything different this morning as far as ice speed, curl, anything different?
We're seeing a lot more swing in the ice, so it's just taking some getting used to, especially in the hits. It's not what we're used to seeing, so we just got to pay more attention to that.
All right, so with the scoreboard the way it is now, you with the 2 points up with Hammer, what's your game plan for the last half?
Game plan in the 6th end here is to score and just hopefully keep the lead and, keep the pressure on them.
Awesome, thank you. Good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
And just before we head to break, we're going to turn our attention right next door, sheet 2. Final stone here to come for Jana Tisdale, facing 2 Rayanne Williamson counters. She's going to need a good piece of the 4 foot to pick up her single.
Jana made a terrific shot on her first one, navigating a very tight port with a run double to get out of some serious trouble and open up the 4 foot for this shot. So as difficult as this one looks, she didn't even have a shot 2 shots ago. So good cleanup on her first one, but now she has to change pace here and move from that high hit that she just threw to a nice delicate draw to the full 4 foot. So Brett and Ellen heads down. Good sweep here.
You got it. Get it there. Take a look. You got it.
Yeah, they picked this up right away.
Go hard. You got it.
Krista
Hard.
encouraging them to bring it in, but same thing too. You either get a piece of the 4 or you give up 2 points.
Had to go to get by the yellow one, and
looks like
it's
she
going to come just to
counted
the edge
out
of
1.
it. Be a steal of 1 there, and Rayanne Williamson will take a 5-3 lead into the break on that sheet.
Saskatchewan Championship Curling is brought to you by Viterra, SaskTel, SGI, White Ice and Eastside Paint and Wallpaper, Curling Canada and the 2020 Scotties Tournament of Hearts, CurlSask, SaskTel Max TV, and Realcast Media.
As Canada's grain industry leader, Viterra and its employees are connected to their communities across Western Canada. Through its community investment program, Viterra supports a wide variety of causes and initiatives, including those focused on sports and recreation that encourage teamwork, integrity, and high performance. These same values guide Viterra's employees when providing farm customers with trusted advice and quality service. Viterra is a proud sponsor of the Scotties Tournament of Hearts.
Freedom is getting lost in the moment and then finding your way. It's the calories that don't count, the late nights, and the memories that last forever. Freedom is diving into life, heart first, hoping to make a splash. It's using your phone however you want, wherever you travel. Freedom is roam and relax US, Mexico, and Caribbean travel rates from SaskTel.
Welcome back. I'm here with one of Canada's top curlers, Chelsea Carey. Chelsea, fans can get really close to the action at a live event. Do you think that's unique to the sport of curling?
Go, Chelsea! Yes.
At least she's okay. Experience the Scotties Tournament of Hearts live. Buy tickets now at curling.ca.
We all dream about our future. It takes only a moment for those dreams to shatter. My daughter's dreams are over. She lost her life using her phone while driving.
Don't worry, we're having a great time. We're gonna throw the rock for practice, and then we're gonna actually play a game.
Really? Awesome.
Knock it back. Yeah. Could be even better.
Want to try it and have some fun? Hurry hard to your local curling center or visit CurlSask.ca to find a curling center near you.
White Ice, the ice paint people, set out to develop a very specific ice paint product that would satisfy the needs of the professional ice maker in both hockey and curling. White Ice was successfully formulated and tested, and distribution began in 1988 and has since expanded their line of products and services to meet the needs of today's professional ice makers. White Ice is distributed by Eastside Paint and Wallpaper in Saskatoon, who is also a signature Benjamin Moore paint dealer. White Ice and Eastside Paint and Wallpaper, defining the game.
'Cause you're here in my house. You're here in my house. Come on in. Bring your friend. Yeah, make yourself at home. Here in my
Here catching our morning action from lovely city of Melville. Well, the Shall and Fleming team brought out the white flag. The Amber Holland team was just too overpowering today, scored another 3 here in the 5th end for a 12-1 score. They shook hands, and that game is concluded. On sheet 2, we saw Jana Tisdale's draw come up just short for her point, giving up a steal of 1 and a 5-2 lead for Rayanne Williamson.
And our feature sheet, we saw the nice hit for 2 by Lorraine, which still leaves the Selzer team 2 up with Hammer playing the 6th end. And we heard in the interview that Mandy's game plan now is to score in the 6th end. They have a few rocks in the rings. Their first center guard slipped a little deep, but this is where we're at.
It'll be interesting too if she makes any adjustment on the weight or the broom for those hits. She said they were fooled there a little bit. It was curling more than what they had seen yesterday, and I'm not quite sure what their adjustment's going to be, but I think she's going to be opening up the broom a little bit and believing what they're seeing.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Sit. Okay, that's fine.
I thought it was interesting you talked about what Mandy had said in that break, and we've talked a little bit about how teams play the scoreboard management game, and her game plan for the 6th end was to score. She wants to score. Yep. It's the 6th end, the even end. Not even thinking about, just worried about defending the lead. 6th end, our game plan is to score.
Yes.
And that's the game plan is certainly very important that a lot of teams work through, and you sit down and you talk about these situations when we're at this point in a game, if we're 1 up, if we're 2 up, if we have hammer, if we don't, and how do we want to handle that? You know, is this a hard steal, must steal situation? Is it one where we're happy to give them the point, get the force, get the hammer back? Those types of considerations, and these teams have gone through those playbooks ahead of time.
Yeah, especially those with good coaching, and it's not something you decide in the middle of a game. That's something that's well thought out and planned well ahead of time. All the different scenarios.
Well, it makes for interesting discussions whereby it's not so much how you want the last end to look, it's how do you set up the end before or even 2 ends before that to get to the situation that you would prefer to be in the last end. Do you like being 1 up without coming home versus 1 down with? And if that's whatever your answer is, then you're going to play the second last end to set that situation up. With time clocks out there, you know, you don't have time for those discussions. This has to be done ahead of time, and everybody is on that same page. Where the discussion comes in is so often you do have your game plan for the end, all of a sudden there's a miss, and now when do you change and modify that end plan based on how the situation, that's where the artistic part of this all comes in.
Good. Sit.
I don't think I've ever heard it described as artistic before.
Anybody know?
Creative.
Maybe just top 8. Okay. Yeah, I know, right? You got it. Line's fine. Top 8. Room! Just top 8. Oh, let it work. Okay. Lots of room. Whoa. Okay, Jill in. Go if you have to. You
gotta get buried.
Whoa, whoa.
Top
Okay,
eight,
at the
top
end.
four.
Yep,
Go.
finish it. Hard! 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 Rita! Hard! Go, Jill! Go, 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 go! Hard! Yep, hard. It's good. It's good. Whatever that was.
Yes. Yeah.
Nice weight, just not quite buried.
And for Lorraine Schneider, those yellows around the 12-foot are starting to pile up. If you could manage to keep the shooter in the rings here, you'd be sitting 3 and all spread out. Is Lorraine Schneider kind of all in here? She's got to get the hard steal.
That's what I was looking at. I thought this is a pretty brave call.
Well, I don't see any
Middle of the
bailouts
game.
left.
Yeah, 9-6.
This one might roll out again.
Good to have some evidence.
Sorry, you guys.
I got 12.
Third's last stone here.
Buried, right? I'll just give you less ice. Yeah.
Looks like they're committed to the steal here.
All right. You got it. Same weight.
And if that's your strategy, then this is certainly the way to play it. But in a 10-inning game, I might have thought that the 6th was just a little bit too early to go into a must-steal situation if you're playing an 8-inning game, for sure.
Can we go back? Be frozen.
T back 4.
Yep, yeah,
Frozen's
then.
okay.
Hard, yep.
Coming down.
Keep it going.
Hard line.
Hard.
Hard.
Hard. It'll go, Ash. Go, go,
Hard,
go.
hard, 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 hard.
Go, go, go.
Hard.
Keep it going. Bury, bury, bury it. Okay.
Still a little portion sticking out there.
Can't get it buried.
Okay, same weight. No.
Really good weight.
That was 9.6.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah, a 10.
So Erin needing to bring her hit weight down just a little bit, trying to hold this shooter, but you saw her got to push out there on the release.
Well, even if she's a little thin on this one, there's a yellow just outside the rings. She actually could roll into it and sit 3 that way. And
Needed to
they
hit it a
actually
little
could have called the sweep to make that.
Back in.
Sorry, guys. It was going to come first.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the best is to get buried here.
You're a little bit more.
I think it has to be this.
I like that.
The other
But if
seconds first round.
Okay, this is our plan B. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't think that's right.
That's less than you. Okay. Speed's really nice here. It's good? Okay.
Yeah. All right. Questionable. Pretty quick here. I think so. 20? Yeah.
Okay. Okay. This is still less ice, so.
Okay, sounds good. Okay.
First is to be like over buried top 4.
Okay.
Second would be to be right back, but.
Okay, sounds good.
Like 25, or do I need?
I think that's 20.
20?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
You got it. Line's okay. Line's tight. Where is it? Line's tight.
Line's tight.
You gotta go.
Hard line.
Hard. Where is it?
Top 8.
Hard. Hard. Hard.
So Ashley and Jill giving it everything they've got here, trying to squeeze this by.
Okay, right in, right in.
And it's just going to rub.
Maybe just a foot or 2 light on that weight for
Weird spin.
what they needed, but they were getting the line.
Probably just a little flop, eh?
Comes into the rings, but it's 3rd shot.
Yeah, 3rd shot.
That's what you're calling, yeah. I thought you were
I think we just roll anyways.
I think you have to.
Yeah.
Like that?
We can't be in what?
What do you want to throw?
You guys
And
are
the other
throwing
problem by
5.
rolling that off,
Okay, so
Lorraine Schneider had talked about 2 shots before she threw there. They even talked about coming up high on the first one, trying to bury, but they could always come to the back one on the last one and try to take the end away that way. But by moving that guard over, even if she freezes to the back one, there's probably room for Mandy Selzer to blast it out.
Well, because she doesn't have far to send it either.
Well,
I
she'll
was
be able
gonna
to see it if it's frozen.
Right. I was going to mention too when she said her 2 shots were top 4 or back 12. That's quite a difference for your
Well,
second best.
And the line's way out too.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
yeah,
it was
there
a
was no
tough,
either or on that
yeah.
shot.
Then you should get the curl up. 10.
Off.
Warm it up.
No, no. Close.
Clean.
Whoa. Off.
Just
Off.
clean, clean.
Yep. Hard.
Little roll.
Well, not too much.
No, she was right. She would have liked to have kept it just a little closer once they had that little piece of the 12-foot. Just have it stop that little bit, because now there's still room for Lorraine to make this draw.
Yeah, I don't know if you would have they wanted it to stop, but I'm not sure you do. Then she comes around the outside and buries behind both of them.
But then it's still your yellow for a short run.
Just skinny that one, really. Yeah, it's probably the call, though. Yep.
Yeah, I don't think that's there. She's looking at freezing
By
the
the time
back
you
one.
get
By the
past
time you're
it.
by the yellow one, you're never
Over
holding the
curling,
line to the
yeah.
back one.
Probably there. Okay.
Well, we're about to find out.
We gotta go freeze weight on the back one. Okay,
Sounds good.
probably. Okay. So, hair more line here. Okay. I think I was a bit tight on the last one, but I need more weight too.
Yeah. You bet. You got it.
Okay, girls.
that one would have been top 4. Top 8.
Yeah.
Lorraine Schneider with her final stone here in the 6th end. Picked up a deuce to get a little
big?
closer last end.
Yep.
Now
All there.
trying to
Yep.
avoid
All
handing
there.
back a big end.
Whoa, whoa, then. All there. Whoa.
Looking to freeze the back.
Yeah, line. How's big? Line over. Back line. Hard line. Back line. Hard. 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 Go.
And that just really curled as it got to the top of the house. She's a little bit warm. It's through the back.
It's one of those, if they'd never swept it, she probably would have stayed. Shot rock back corner the 8-foot, at least forcing Mandy into a tap. But as we were talking, we didn't even think that shot was there.
You can take more. Middle of the 12.
You got it, man.
First curl, eh?
I don't know if they're sweeping quite as hard, but yeah.
She's got all kinds of room in the house. The only issue here is she
Get
can't
there.
be on the nose of her own.
Right.
So that's more of a line call. You can already has 3. Needs a bite of the rings to count 4 points here.
Gotta go.
Not curling yet. There it goes. Yep.
Line's fine.
It's okay. Line's fine. Just
Sarah,
wait.
if anything.
We're okay.
Once it
Line
curls
straight.
off her
Line
own
straight.
stone,
Elbow.
just
Are we past it?
managing it into the rings.
Good. Weight's good. 14-2. Let it go.
Gets a little nudge off that stone, but does come to rest. Back corner of the 4-foot, she will pick up 4 points.
Go ahead.
Mandy Selzer with a 9-3 lead through 6 ends of play.
Welcome back. I'm here with one of Canada's top curlers, Chelsea Carey. Chelsea, fans can get really close to the action at a live event. Do you think that's unique to the sport of curling?
Go, Chelsea! Yes.
At least she's okay. Experience the Scotties Tournament of Hearts live. Buy tickets now at curling.ca.
As Canada's grain industry leader, Viterra and its employees are connected to their communities across Western Canada. Through its community investment program, Viterra supports a wide variety of causes and initiatives, including those focused on sports and recreation that encourage teamwork, integrity, and high performance. These same values guide Viterra's employees when providing farm customers with trusted advice and quality service. Viterra is a proud sponsor of the Scotties Tournament of Hearts.
White Ice, the ice paint people, set out to develop a very specific ice paint product that would satisfy the needs of the professional ice maker in both hockey and curling. White Ice was successfully formulated and tested, and distribution began in 1988 and has since expanded their line of products and services to meet the needs of today's professional ice makers. White Ice is distributed by Eastside Paint and Wallpaper in Saskatoon, who is also a signature Benjamin Moore paint dealer. White Ice and Eastside Paint and Wallpaper, defining the game.
Welcome back, everybody. We are in the process here of switching games over to the Janet Tisdale, Rayanne Williamson game. So to report, we already know that the Holland Fleming game concluded last end, 12-1 score there for Amber's team to continue advancing through the C event. We heard Mandy Selzer say that she wanted to score in the 6th end, and they did so convincingly with a 4-point score to take a 9-3 lead. Moving over here to sheet 2 to the Jana Tisdale game, Jana made a perfect freeze on her first one. Rayanne Williamson failed to remove it, left Jana with an open draw to the entire house for the 2nd point and came up just light. Scored her single. We have a 5-3 game for Rayanne playing the 7th end.
And we're going to turn our attention now to this game.
We gotta go.
So as we mentioned, all these games this morning are the C event. So as you're shaking hands, if you're on the bottom end of the score, then that's your last game here this year at the 2020 Scotties.
A little pick there right at the end.
And winners get to keep marching on through the C event. You're still alive. also Brett Day in the hack here to throw her second stone.
Lots of room. Line's really good. Hard. It's okay. It looks like it's a guard. Looks like a guard. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
This is already getting too messy.
Yeah, 65. Okay, that's fine. Let's see.
Didn't feel like that.
I think you just tap it.
It looks like
Yeah.
they're having some of the similar issues on sheet 2 to what we were
Yeah,
seeing
exactly.
on sheet 3. A ton of curl. They were looking to come around the red one. It actually, and granted, yes, it's short, but it ends up on top of the yellow one all the way across.
I think you were like, being really, I like a 80. 0.
So we have Amanda Kuzik here playing lead for Rayanne. Another Regina-based curler, just recently out of
really
juniors
good.
2 or 3 years ago.
Back 12.
So
back
gain a
12.
lot of youth on this team. It's great to see.
Hard.
Hard line, hard line.
Hard. Hard. Where's he going to play that? Ready to go on this guy?
Looking for the double tap here.
Really good, Amanda.
Puts it right on the top corner of the button in behind that red guard.
What'd you get, Ray? 12-5. Ooh. Still hot.
And also the way that she left the angles up there is helpful.
No. Oh yeah, I can play my own.
Yeah, well, I got to
little confusion over the 5 rock.
What do you want?
She can hit her own, so looking at
Yeah.
playing the run back.
Here?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, I totally.
Yes, that's a good point, Sean, that we get so caught up in the 5 rocks and can't remove rocks from play, but your rock is still able to be removed.
I think they've elected to play it with quiet enough weight. They shouldn't be removing it anyway, playing it just as a tap up.
Hard, never leave it. Gotta go. Hard.
Would have liked to tap to, on the angle behind the yellow-red. This is going to be close to straight draw.
Oh, we gotta hit it.
Yeah, a little quiet there than what they were asking, I think.
Not a terrible result. She gets the
Nope.
shooter into the rings and actually has probably opened the port wide enough that you could make a play on shot rock.
There's a chance you can jam just like the Wilson. As much as
Or Ray, I don't mind a heel either, but.
I know I'm just worried because like we can. I don't mind Ray peeling it out either. We'll just go after this, so we can deal with that out. 9.5.
A good call here. You know, you're up 2. That's basically a good center guard there for your opposition. So trying to keep the center a little clearer. So Chantal Martin attempting to make this peel. But it looks...
Goes right through the port, actually hits her own and rolls behind
Makes
cover.
it better, yeah.
Can you see enough? You like just throwing hack? Even if we do this? Yeah.
Well, because this isn't the sheet we've been watching, I'm not sure if this sheet has the little bit more curl than what we have been seeing, like the sheet that we just came off of.
So second, Ellen Redlick.
Yep. Yes!
Certainly like to be able to get this straight back bump. Or through the port.
I think they were playing
tap.
through the port,
Yeah.
but she was a little bit inside on this. Straight back might have been the option after she let it go.
Okay, well, I mean, it's either we take a run at this or we just come behind everything.
I like coming around.
Or we could peel it too. And there's this double right here. Okay. You want to be a little bit better than full 8?
Where exactly are they going when you come around? You have to worry about either A, the double, or the hit and roll from the other one that's going to be behind a wall.
Top 12. Alex. Hard, Alex. Gotta go to get by. Hard.
Just rubs that guard closest to the rings and spins into the forefoot.
That was very nice weight. Just that little tick and provides a nice opportunity here for Jana to remove 2 yellow rocks.
I think I like this one better right now.
Yeah. I like that.
No.
You got all kinds of choices here. You can play the double. You can play the hit and
Hit and
roll
roll on
onto the
top.
corner, which is what she's opting for here. You could freeze in that pocket.
So you can't miss, really, is what you're saying.
Well, you got to pick one for sure. But
So third, Krista Ellingson.
Hard.
Looking to think the hit and roll on top.
well, that might have been the call, but they're going to be pretty close to the double, I think. Well,
Straight under.
Well, it's
Okay. Probably in looks better.
that's just not a good result. She's left
Probably the
Yeah.
in looks better.
a hit and roll in behind. They'd be sitting 2, and
Yeah.
you really can't get at them.
You want a 10?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I like a 10.
So we have third, Alex Meyer, who's actually Rianne's sister, older sister.
Clean.
Close.
Clean. Oh,
Amanda.
Amanda.
Hard, Amanda.
Hard.
Makes the hit, but stays on the outside of that stone, and shooter rolls all the way out of play.
Also a chance for Krista to get in here. We've seen from a couple shots already that the curl is there to come in and sit on the corner of that yellow for shot.
Yeah, exactly.
Mine's pretty good. Yep. Hard then. Hard. Okay. Line's good. Brett. Hard, hard, hard line. Hard line. Hard. Gotta go for line. Hard. Hard, 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 hard. Every inch. You gotta go.
Kim,
Gotta
you
go,
wondered
go,
if this
go,
sheet
go.
was
Hard, hard,
curling the
hard,
same
hard,
as sheet
hard,
3,
hard,
and
hard.
I'm going to say yes.
Yeah. I think we got our answer.
Okay, well,
Puts
here's
that
Yellow's
on the
still
corner,
shot,
but
though.
yellow's still shot
Yeah.
rock.
Yep.
Is there anything red on red?
Huh?
Is that red on red there?
Oh yeah, this double.
You like a time?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Timeout called.
So they will be calling out Coach Darcy Hugebert.
I mean, this is pretty hard.
And the Tisdale team will just be talking to somebody in the crowd.
Yes, they're the only team here without a coach.
I don't know if they've picked up any tidbits or not. They'd said they'd asked at the luncheon yesterday that they were the only coachless team, so anybody that wanted to help out, please feel free to chip in.
Like, yeah.
This was
No,
not our
that's the
feature
thing.
game, so we only have mics on the
And if we
skips
try
and third,
and
and we
draw,
didn't
give
give
us
them
touch.
the
That's
speech where the
terrible.
coach needs to stand close. You can see Darcy is on the other side of the sheet. We can't
Yeah.
hear a thing.
Well, what if we play this? Well, that's. And if we ever touch it and roll off.
If we put it right here, she nails it with heel. Yeah, I think you gotta throw the double, Alex. Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. Like a draw. I think there gives her a double,
Yeah.
too, right?
It's in. I think
And then
right
she's
now
three
we're
buried.
trying to figure out how to get out of it without giving up a steal or just getting our one. And I
Like,
think
you
the
gotta hit
double-
this. You gotta hit this here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the double's what we have to do, guys, to avoid giving up more than one. Okay. I think
mean,
you
we roll out and we leave her the freeze, but
Well, we leave her the freeze. Maybe she bumps off. I can hit and roll behind, right? Like, let's make this first and let her make a good shot, and then we'll figure it out from there.
okay. Okay.
Do you want to throw a 9.5 or a 9?
I threw a 9.5, or did I throw a 9?
Alex, if you hit anywhere on this side, they both go.
Yeah, you gotta hit. You gotta hit as far on the outside
Like, you
as
don't
you
have
can.
to throw a ton of weight.
No. Let's go 9.5 then.
Okay.
Gotta hit it on the outside, girl. No.
That's right, because if she comes up to the nose, she's going to take her own yellow out.
And ice a little big rate.
But again, it came down to that game plan.
What do you
What
think
do
about there?
you want to do? And Rayanne said we have to work
That
to
looks
make
like
sure that we
lots
can at
to
least
me,
score that
but-
single point.
I said, that looks like lots to me, but...
Well, give and if you whatever you think.
Okay.
Well, this is too, it's good to know the tendencies of your players. So they've asked for a specific weight. And as you play with your team, they'll either give you that weight or their next will be to overthrow or underthrow a little bit. So tighten up the broom here because Alex doesn't usually underthrow her hits.
Hard! Whoa, whoa, whoa! Whoa, whoa! Go,
Makes
Ray,
the
go,
hit.
Ray, go, go,
Catches
go!
both reds. They can only sweep one of them, and that's not enough to get either one of them out of the rings, but the yellow is still buried.
And move them well into the 12 foot. So that's opened up some space for Williamson's team to possibly score 2 points if Jana doesn't come in with a couple of perfect shots.
Yeah.
So looking for the corner freeze here.
Yeah, looking for the corner freeze, but getting shot with it.
Krista Ellingson had made it on her first, but yeah, exactly, over curled. And they did wiggle that Yellowstone
It went
just a
back
little
farther,
bit, so it's
yeah.
a little bit closer to the center line now.
Well, Jana put in a perfect freeze on her first one last end, so looking to do that again. So sometimes you need great long-term memory in this game, but right about now she needs really good short-term memory after the draw attempt on her second shot in the sixth end.
For some of us, that is long term.
Sure, go. Hard line. Line. Hard. All you got. Everything you got. Go, 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 go. Hard, 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 hard. All you got. Hard, 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 hard. Keep going, keep going.
Well, you know, her line wouldn't have been too bad, just a hair short.
Yeah, she's got the weight. It's probably
Yep.
right on the corner.
It's gotta be really good. She can still run though, Ray. If we put a guard,
And having said that, it's a bit of a dangerous spot there, too. It can be used.
but if you like, I think if you come here, she plays the run all day, and then we're looking at 4 on your last one. I think you guard and let her come around, make that nice.
Well, then we're probably giving up a steal. Are you okay with that?
I'm not okay with it at all, but.
I'm more
Really?
okay if you make a shot.
I know. The only reason I'm hesitant to do the guard is we're basically giving
That's
her
when
her
sisters
shot
can
back.
say that to each other.
Exactly.
Wow.
And then you're drawing. I mean, you're drawing 4 foot for or full 8 for your
I
one.
know. I mean, I thought maybe this.
What about this?
But coming that way's hard. You'd have to give like here to get there. If you guard, she's coming around. You're probably giving up a steal.
That's the only thing, but. What if and if you come here deep, she's still. Like I think I like that.
You think you can get there?
I think so. You think this is there?
Well, we haven't seen the ice
Yeah.
on this sheet. I mean, I certainly like this call. I just.
What do you like that? I don't.
Rayanne seemed to think it was
Well,
difficult.
yeah, like that's the thing. Like.
She,
Yeah, but I
looked
should have
briefly, if
something
you're
back
worried
though.
about all these reds, she looked briefly at hitting
Like
the,
that or
the
you
red
don't
on
like
the
the
far
dark?
left, roll into the 8 foot. You know, if you make that, it's no worse than a steal of one. And you still might have a chance for 2 or 3.
For a really good steal, right?
I don't hate that call.
This is what she's asking for. So she comes around.
I hate that call.
Yeah, I don't think
for exactly the reason Ray said. You put the guard up, it's going to be a
They're
steal.
not
If she
playing
makes her
that.
draw, it's going to be a steal.
If that's
Oh.
I don't like it, but we don't have time to talk about it.
Well, that's an interesting comment.
Yeah.
We haven't seen the clocks yet, but you can just see the bottom of it counting down. Looks like she's at about 12 minutes right now.
I mean, I don't like this. We just don't have time to talk about it. So. Yeah, the only thing I don't like about it is we're giving her a better opportunity to steal. Right now, it's really hard for her to do it. We want it tight. Tighter it is, the harder it is to come around. Sorry, 15-5.
It's probably not a fun feeling sitting in the hack throwing, saying,
the-
I don't like this. I
And
don't like
agree
this
with
shot.
her. I mean,
Where?
all she's guarding is a tap. She's going to have the same come around, and if she makes it, you don't have a way to get
We're
at it
gonna over
now.
curl. No, I think we're too far for that. It's got to sit. It's got to stop.
You're guarding a tap to make her play a come around. Well, the come around should be the easier shot.
Wow. Okay,
And wow, look at the curl on that.
Yeah.
Doesn't really take anything away.
I think there's similar difficulty.
The question is going to be, do you have enough? Could you run it back and try to kill shot stone?
Borderline.
And if you don't think you do, you play the draw.
Mm-hmm.
You'll get, you'll get quite a bit, but it depends. You could make it almost perfect.
You guys like the draw? Do you like this? This? Just back line weight?
So looking at coming down, moving this stone in here, and you heard her talk about back line, so she probably doesn't get the yellow all the way out, but she could sit 2, maybe 3. The other option would be to come right around everything into the top of that button area, and you don't have to be dead buried if you're a little higher than that
if you have
yellow.
the angle.
Yeah.
Yep.
And still only being the 7th.
Did you hear that?
No, I didn't. What did you say?
Janice said, I was kind of hoping she'd make the guard.
Yeah, I know.
Well, exactly. I mean, that was just playing right into their hands.
Do you want to give a little more?
See, I don't think there's any doubt she could see enough of the red to drive it onto the yellow. The problem is you got to drive it and stick it. If you actually come across the face just a little bit, the red stone will flop out in the open. You'll actually give her an easier shot to get in.
Line steady. Up. Yep. Hard. Hard line. Yes. Hard line. Hard. You gotta go hard.
Boy, this is really curling. She's got to get by the front ones. Not going to. And spins over to the edge of the 8-foot, but doesn't really change anything for Rayanne Williamson. She just needs a good piece of 8
Tell 'em to
here.
be a little weary of it out here.
She can pick up a deuce.
Where Chantal's was.
Just sounded like Jana was a little skinny on the broom right from the get-go. Just never fully got out there to give that shot a chance. I think the weight was pretty close to what she was hoping for.
She really didn't look like she ever felt confident in it. I mean, the shot was there, but she wanted to play the quieter weight again, I think, just because she didn't want to come over the top and pop it out into the open.
And her first instinct was that wide out turn, so sometimes you have to go with what the little voice inside said, but
Okay, line's good. I'd wait a bit. Line's good. All you, T-line. T-line, all you guys. It'll be fine. All you, T-line. All you, come on. Let's go. Come on, come on. Come on, girls. 14 and a half. It should be really good. Really good, really good. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Good, good, good. Really good judge, girls.
Rayanne Williamson with her final stone brings it into the edge of the button.
Yellow.
Does pick up her 2 points. She'll take a 7-3 lead into the 8th end.
Freedom is getting lost in the moment and then finding your way. It's the calories that don't count, the late nights, and the memories that last forever. Freedom is diving into life, heart first, hoping to make a splash. It's using your phone however you want, wherever you travel. Freedom is roam and relax U.S., Mexico, and Caribbean travel rates from SaskTel.
As Canada's grain industry leader, Viterra and its employees are connected to their communities across Western Canada. Through its community investment program, Viterra supports a wide variety of causes and initiatives, including those focused on sports and recreation that encourage teamwork, integrity, and high performance. These same values guide Viterra's employees when providing farm customers with trusted advice and quality service. Viterra is a proud sponsor of the Scotties Tournament of Hearts.
Welcome back, everyone. Well, C of N action on Sunday morning. We started with 3 games, still have 2 on the ice. Let's quickly recap all of the scoring so far this morning.
Well, we don't have the 7th end score up quite yet, but we do know it's 7-3 on our feature sheet right now. 12-1 today for Amber Holland over Shallon Fleming. That ends the Scotties for Shallon's team. Amber continues to stay alive in the C event.
And what was our feature game? Oh, wrong. The game we're playing now, 7-3. And what was our feature game? Score is now 9-5 for Selzer over Schneider, but Schneider did get 2 points, so they're playing the 8th end now.
So 4 up with Hammer is a pretty comfortable position, but we've seen strange things happen, so you never say die. You just keep going if you're Schneider's team and see if you can't carve out a steal here in the 8th and keep going.
And with a 4-point lead, Rand, probably plenty of time. You could see the time clocks if you were paying attention as we were doing the score updates. What you heard her talk about, and there you see another look at them now, they're just at 11 minutes. You heard her talking about that guard. She didn't like the call, but she didn't want to start wasting a lot of time right there because they still have 3 ends to play.
Coming down.
The nice thing about that, you got your 2 points. You now have a 4-point lead. You don't have to think as much with a 4-point lead, so that
Shouldn't
11
be too
minutes
hard.
should be lots.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I don't think so. I can see white.
Measure? Can we measure?
Can we? I think so.
Yes, you can.
Yes, you can.
And we'll have a little time here.
Can we get a measure? Oh, no, that's it.
Rand might be happy to agree that it's in. I think she wants her to hit
Yeah,
it anyway.
I think it's in, Ray. I don't think it is.
Well, then measure.
I'd like
That-
a measure.
Yeah, it's called a technical timeout. It stops the clocks. You're not charged with a timeout. And it is the only time in an end that you are permitted a measure is to find out if that rock is in the free guard zone or not.
So they've called out the official.
So it
They're
looks
going to
like
measure
Dennis
that stone
Smith.
to see if it's in the free guard zone.
So Dennis Smith off to go get the 6-foot stick.
But if it's in, it doesn't. Yeah. Might as well, right?
You know, with
That's the point
Yeah.
that I was wondering about. It's like, but Janet did indicate she was going to hit it.
But she's
given the score, I'm
4
wondering,
down.
like, what difference does it make? Why would you ever hit this
Exactly.
rock?
Yeah.
Now, on the other hand, I have seen this happen where teams wanted to agree on it, and then they didn't call the hit anyway. It is in.
I want to throw right here.
Which, whether it was in or out, she could play this shot.
Well, she could, but if you're a little heavy playing it and it was out, it goes back after
Well,
you
if
kill
you
it.
hit it
yeah.
through the rings, yes.
Whoa. I'm pretty good. Stay close. Hard. Hard.
Yeah.
Gotta go.
Yeah, you do. So.
Really hard.
Not sure she's going to touch it anyway. Comes straight by it. Now, you look at where that yellow one is. She just got by it, and she's well over, out past the guard. Like she almost touched that yellow one just outside the rings, and look at where it ended up.
Yeah.
So good call to roll that shooter out. Don't want any rocks back there that could possibly help Jana.
There's a good look at the score clocks. Tisdale team with 12 minutes and Williamson with almost 11.
And 0 timeouts.
Yeah, no timeouts. That was the thing that stood out for me. Is that's maybe why Rayanne was concerned about using too much time there. They've already used all their timeouts.
That's right, because they brought Darcy out about the third end. And that was in the fourth end, and Rayanne had to make that great draw to save, or actually turned out to be the steal, but she was looking at 3 with nothing to hit, put in a great draw, but they called Darcy out for that shot also.
5 Rocks have come to rest now, so they can start peeling guards.
Amanda. Alex. Alex.
She's thin on the first one. She actually might be able to get both of them.
Good.
Probably not the weight to make a double peel anyway. It comes across the top, kills the one guard.
Do you want the same weight, Jana? No, because you got to move that. Okay.
Hey.
I think that's about the same.
I don't think anybody likes
She just wants to bump it 3 feet, right?
Alan Redlick looking to nestle in there.
Stay close, yep, gotta go, line.
She'd like to get that yellow in the top, the 8 foot behind the tee line somewhere.
That's right, because you know you're.
Wait. Yep. Hard. How much left? Back 8.
And again, this is really curling. She's going to touch the top one. And I think that was plan B by that time. She was hoping not to touch the top one.
Would have been a nice freeze had they
the
not
back one.
touched.
She actually got buried off the tick. That's not a bad result either.
For a moment.
So Alex Meyer looking to remove that corner guard.
Clean it. Whoa.
Clean. Little bit, Amanda.
Makes the hit, and this time rolls both rocks easily out of play.
Yeah. So, is this back 8? Back 12? I think. Good, yeah.
So Krista Ellingson looking to go back to that call they had on the last shot. I think they've opened up the broom a little bit.
Oh, if you can. Charlie. Whoa.
Definitely has a lot more line. Looks like a lot more weight as well. Sweepers have backed away from this one. Not going to make contact with the one at the top, and this is going to go through the back.
Like 9.5.
Some days on your good days, you're inside on that weight and you still get something, but when it's not working, you're both outside and heavy, and there's no recourse on that.
Go, Ray, we're good. I was a 9.5 last time or first? Clean. Yep. Easy.
Oh.
Clean.
A little bit of a flop now. All right.
Makes the hit, rolls to the corner of her own stone.
Pocket better. Just a
A little tap. Ugh, I don't like that. Little less weight, Jana. Okay, same ice. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the hack-in's got it right here. If you're going to play that tap, you want to tap it to a pocket, not all the way to the back 8.
So this weight sounds a little closer if we're hearing them shout out 8 and 9, so they're thinking that's back 8, back 12 weight.
Still needs to finish a little bit. She's got the right weight.
And
Didn't
that
get the
weight
curl
came
to get to
down.
the nose.
And
Right
weight
weight
came
or
down
even a
quite a
little
bit.
less. Yeah.
It's just sort of T-line.
Yeah. Perfect weight.
10. I like 10.
It's getting mighty
But we've been
congested
throwing all game.
in that forefoot. Or it will be soon too with all yellows.
Yeah, Janet Tisdale's probably going to have to make a hit of some sort on her first, just to make sure she has a chance to score.
Yeah, to get her one.
She does have the double available on the yellows at the outside edge of the forefoot, and she could actually roll underneath the yellows. The problem with that is it'll be such a short run, and I'm assuming there's going to be 2 yellows there after Rayanne Williamson throws this.
As long as they're not staggered.
Well, there's that.
Yep. Yep.
Call the brush on right away.
Yep. Hard.
Well, maybe there's not going to be 2 yellows there.
Good.
Well, hangs it on right at the edge of the 8.
It's still a good spot. She makes that double, as you just said. There's such
Yeah,
a
it's-
short run back, and she doesn't get shot here.
But if you don't play it, how do you score?
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say. She's playing, looks like she was calling a freeze. And what I was trying to say is you have to get shot here, I think.
We're trying to force a miss out of her. Do you like moving them with the top? Or just spreading them a bit? Just the center? Yep. I don't think it's bad, Chief. Okay. Well, if we're going to draw, I think our ice is about here. Okay. And you're gonna... We're gonna tap on the touch. Okay. Because I don't want to throw much more. Just a little jiggle, right? So then, there? Okay.
So opting to come in with draw weight, and she said maybe we can get a miss out of them because they did back in the 6th end. Jana put on a terrific freeze, and Rayanne jammed it. They weren't able to capitalize for their 2 points. So, some of that is coming into play there, that they know Rayanne's missed shot like this before. Maybe she'll miss again.
Push that other yellow a little bit further back. Oh, that's a lot of ice. Okay. Okay.
I don't mind her thinking to move these. If
I
you make the
definitely
freeze
like
the
the
way it
idea.
is, if the freeze is any good, she could just blast it out because everything's on angles.
And
but it makes it a much more difficult shot.
And it also depends if
Gotta go.
if Williamson is sitting
Hard line.
too when this rock comes to rest. She can
won't
throw
be
a guard
blasting.
and make her score 1 very difficult.
I don't think she's getting by the stone at the top of the forefoot.
So as of right now, it's still 3 yellows.
Sitting
so
3.
You're just going to ignore that.
Do you ever try to tap that yellow up? Sure. Yeah.
You like this turn or the other turn?
I think I like the other turn. I just don't want to touch that red.
So
Rayanne
try to
Williamson
save-
clearly worried about the clock because she didn't even come down to call
No,
this.
exactly. So I was just going to say that trying to save a few seconds
don't
here
like
on the clock.
I like this.
The clock stops as soon as Rayanne gets this rock over the near tee line here.
You have to be a little bit careful about this tap. You leave these angles wrong, and you could leave
Line's good.
a chance to kill all 5 yellows and
curling
sit 2.
already.
Not that you have to kill all 5. You'll just need to roll into the last one to hold your shooter.
I like that one on the top of the 4-foot where it was.
Yeah.
I didn't mind throwing a rock right just into the hole and say, okay, go ahead.
Keep going, keep going. Yep.
Promoting that doesn't do a whole lot, I guess, but
It
although
stayed
I
on the
don't
right
think there's
side.
a
I
hole
don't
there
think she
anyway.
could- I mean,
Yep.
she could make the quad, but she's not going to count the shooter.
Right.
And
I guess we'll hear how they're.
So there.
she thinking she can get to the
inside.
She thinking she can get with her last stone here, come to the inside of this, bring the shooter across and take this one out. And of course, this red stone will double the 2 yellows. I think one of the reds has to spin if she hits it that way. So even then, it's probably still just for 1.
Yeah.
She doesn't have anything easy no matter what
Yeah.
she wants to play. She will need some weight on this, but that is one thing. Jana can throw some up weight. This might be the shot she needs just to keep playing in this game. Facing 3, down 4 already. Looking for the big weight. Try to splash some yellows out of there. Well, she's going to be on the top one. Catches the second one, but it looks like it will be a steal of 2. Ryan Williamson now with a 9-3 lead, and that's going to be handshakes. Ryan Williamson will move on in the C event, and that eliminates Janet Tisdale from this year's event, leaving just the 1 game to be decided this morning. So we'll turn our attention back now to the game we started with.
It looked like in the 8th end that Lorraine was setting up for a steal, but I didn't see how Mandy Selzer finished off the 10th or the 8th end, but they did count a point, so she does have a 5-point lead with a 10-5 score. On Lorraine's last rock, she was sitting shot back, 8-foot rocks up front. She was attempting to draw around and sit top 4-foot. Then after that, I didn't see what happened, but clearly Mandy made something and got the single point.
Easy.
Whoa.
No,
Sit.
going under.
No, Sarah, no. Sit. No, Sarah. Over burying.
What are you saying, go or no?
Oh, no. Hello. Okay, Ash. Okay. Yeah, what should I have said? Off?
So if you hear us saying Williamson quite a lot today, Ashley Williamson is actually related to the 2 Williamson sisters, as they are cousins.
Hard, Jill. Hard. 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 Okay, bounce off of it, Larissa. You can. Okay.
Okay.
What are you going to
Probably
throw?
room to make this double and squirt your shooter right on through.
Up here.
That was 9-5.
Don't
Like
think
this.
there's a hole. What do you think?
Well,
I think it's there, but
there might be. You wouldn't want to have to play it.
Yeah.
Whoa! Yes! Hard! Hard! Gotta go hard! Right up, hard. Sarah. The shooter's going on the other one. Right up. Okay. Sorry, Maine.
Good try.
yeah, we saw Megan struggle
maybe
in that
tap a
spot
bit off.
earlier in this end, that hard curl coming off the lines, or that hard curl finishing. She's been nosing
Yeah,
quite
like
a few
this
of those
T-line
shots.
weight.
Okay. All right. You got this.
Ken Bakken looking a little bit more relaxed with that scoreboard as compared to Coach Jamie Schneider.
It's pretty pretty good. Line's better. All down, room's down. Weight's good. Room.
Easy, it's got to curl.
Whoa. Back 8. Can we go around?
Yeah, we could.
Yep. Whoa. It's fine.
Would have liked to tap that straight back just to make this rock a little more difficult to remove.
Pretty much, yeah. A hair on Sarah's side, if anything. Okay.
Well, those shots, when you're trying to corner freeze coming around a corner are really difficult because you've got so little wiggle room to work with. You have to be so precise that just even a teensiest little bounce off, just a smidge, is enough to open up a shot opportunity for the opposition.
Right up, hard. Right to it. Hard, guys. Right up, hard.
Erin Barnhart looking to make the hit here. She would have liked to stay right there just to choke off that corner guard, but she's going to over curl and roll out of play.
Good and nice. Sorry, okay. Even top 12 isn't bad.
Yeah.
You got it there.
So Larissa Murray attempting to get that red rock into the corner freeze position.
Line's pretty good. Room.
Top 12.
Gotta move.
Really, you have to think at this point in the game, critical to make this shot right here because you're not thinking about 2. You need to be thinking about 3 this end.
Yep, freeze
If you could get this corner frozen behind the corner guards, she might need 2 shots to get at it. That does bring 3 into play. That's a pretty good shot. It's not shot rock, but that's not the most important thing right now.
Yeah, you could go over here.
Okay. 85?
Yeah, I think so. That's good.
Should be close.
I got her.
Electing to come down and sit right on top of that. Did you ever think about drawing to the 4 foot on the other side?
Well, that's kind of what I was
Yeah,
looking
it's
at
like
too. Is
you're just
that's another option.
You've got an opposition that needs to score 3 here, and you're going to group all the rocks.
Keep going. A little more. Okay. Yeah.
Shoot, sorry guys. Coming around. In slow motion.
Well,
Just
leaves
like,
her the tap
back
to
8,
sit 2
back
around
out.
3 corners.
See if we can just get to the just tap it a little bit. Just tap it a couple feet.
So back 8.
And we know there's some nice curl there. This is certainly there.
Okay. Don't need much, just to move it 2 feet kind of thing. Okay.
I would say top 8. Not even, yeah.
Let's do this. Okay,
You got it.
Hold there.
Back
Room.
12.
No line.
Ash.
Back 12.
No.
Ash.
Just let her die. Whoa,
Ash.
whoa, whoa.
Ash.
It's not gonna do it. No.
What else?
It's too deep.
Okay.
Yeah, just a lot of weight on that shot. Rock that you had to keep in
I
play.
think so, yeah. This is a bit more to get around it, right?
Well, it's the same ice. It's fine.
Okay.
You were just a little tight.
Okay.
Well, again, if you're the coach and you're keeping track of situations here, going back to drawing the open side on the 4 foot there is
Yeah,
it's a
we're
very
into
strong
skip
call
stones now.
too. You're just
You come
playing
into the 4
into
foot,
the
she can't
opposition.
ignore it. She doesn't have enough rocks left.
We're top 12. That's fine.
85 then.
I think that's what the coaches are discussing back there.
I don't know about that. It seems to be Jamie doing most of the talking. I don't think he'd be telling him this is the wrong call. I think he'd just be telling. I like this call. It's
Yeah.
good. Your team's making a good call here. I like it.
Line's fine.
Got room.
Room. Whoa.
Line's good. Yep. Hold it now. Yep.
It's got to curl a bit.
Yes.
Okay, yep. Get it there. Whoa, stop. It's over curling. Losing it.
Yeah, don't know where they were.
Learned our lesson by now, but
Oh, sorry.
Well, gives the Schneider team the same shot again.
Yeah, we gotta jiggle them a bit. Okay? Just like it's literally just, you know, it's a fine line. Like I think they're better.
Yeah, a little more curl.
One thing I can't tell with where that yellow ended up,
You know? Yeah.
is there enough room here to make contact on this and still get it coming back to catch that stone? Or would it go back onto that one? If you could get it by the top yellow, you might be able to play the yellow-red.
Perhaps, but you know what? Why not just play this and go
Oh,
tap
for
tap
sure.
and see
No,
her
I'm just
do
looking
it.
at whether or not she has that shot for her last one to get
Maybe.
to get the pile if she needs it. It's just there's enough space between those two rocks. The yellow might come across the top, and then it's going to go onto the stone that Mandy just delivered. She can't get to the red
Right
one.
here, less weight than Larissa. Okay. So what are like split wise? What do you
think? Like 4? Yeah.
4?
Yeah. 4 or 5, 4.
Yeah, because
Hers
like I
was
was
like a
throwing
90.
like a 10 here, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so just back 4. Like we just need to tap it 2 feet.
Okay.
Wait, back line. Whoa. Whoa.
Back 12.
Whoa, Ash. Ash.
Actually, yep. Yep, Ash.
Whoa, Jill.
No, Ash.
Ash, yeah.
Ash, yep. Hard. Hard, Ash. Hard.
Swoop in to get the curl. She's by the top one.
Hard. You got it. Hard, hard, hard.
Oh, she's got a great shot. A little unfortunate that yellow actually looked like it spun back towards the
Yeah,
middle.
I'm not sure whose second shot there. And I guess you can see that red as well. Looks like they're just playing to hit anywhere on the high side, and reds should be gone.
Well, with Mandy stopping where she did on the first one, they didn't have that luxury of letting that rock curl up just a little bit more to avoid this popping out a little bit into the open.
Yeah. Yes.
Yep. Yep. Hard. Yep. Yep. Hard. Hard. Whoa. Whoa. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Makes the hit, makes them both go away, and rolls her shooter over to the edge of the 8-foot. It's Mandy Selzer sitting 3 now.
A little bit heartbreaking.
10? Yep.
So looking like Lorraine's playing the hit for her 1 point.
Okay. So 10. Okay, sounds good. You got it.
Weight's good.
Yep. Okay, clean it. Yep.
Final stone of the 9th end here on its way from Lorraine Schneider.
Clean hard. Clean
Needs to hit and stay right there to pick up her single point, which she does.
So that makes the score 10
to
to
6.
6, down 4 without. See what their team decision is about starting a 10th end.
White Ice, the ice paint people, set out to develop a very specific ice paint product that would satisfy the needs of the professional ice maker in both hockey and curling. White Ice was successfully formulated and tested, and distribution began in 1988 and has since expanded their line of products and services to meet the needs of today's professional ice makers. White Ice is distributed by Eastside Paint and Wallpaper in Saskatoon, who is also a signature Benjamin Moore paint dealer. White Ice and Eastside Paint and Wallpaper, defining the game.
Totally my first time. I'm very excited. Don't worry, we're gonna have a great time. We're gonna Awesome.
Not be better. Yeah. Could be better.
Want to try it and have some fun? Hurry hard to your local curling centre or visit CurlSask.ca to find a curling centre near you.
Well, just the one game left out on the ice this morning. It is the game we began with, and we'll stay with them right through to the end here. The other two C event games concluded early. It's Amber Holland with a 12-1 victory over Shalon Fleming on sheet 1. And you saw the tail end of the game with Rayanne Williamson picking up the 9-3 victory over Janet Tisdale.
And here on our feature sheet, we see the score there, 10-6 for Mandy Selzer over Lorraine Schneider, and Mandy also does have hammer here.
Yes, a steal of 4 to tie the game would be a pretty tall order. It is Sunday. Maybe there is a miracle out there somewhere. Bernadette did say a short prayer for us, Bernadette McIntyre, head official, to start off our Sunday draw, so you just never know.
Selzer team did attempt the tick on the first stone, didn't make it, but with the second guard coming to rest where there's a fairly easy double peel available, she didn't even feel the need to try to jiggle those around. Tall order indeed to try to steal 4, because even in the free guard zone, the 4 or 5 rock, you're going to throw the first 2 as guards. Now you got to try to make 4 out of the last 6 count.
You got it, Joe. Hey, you're good.
And here, because they didn't get a great lineup on the first 2 guards, they're throwing a 3rd guard. So now you need to count 4 out of 7, or 4 out of the last 5.
Yeah, mathematics just aren't in your favor.
No, you need your opposition now to put a couple rocks in the rings for you on their peel.
Yes.
So Erin Selzer looking to remove at least 1 red.
Curl. Sorry, man.
Gets a piece of it
Keep going.
with the spin. That rock will get all the way over to the divider.
Less ice. Give it a little bit more pop. Did she say? Okay. You can do this.
It's not bad. Line's good. Gotta go. Okay, hard then. 3. Hard.
Now 3's not what you want to hear here. On this one, it's got to be in the
Leave
rings.
it. But you're just a bit wider than before. It's fine.
Well, unless they're looking at
They didn't
just tying
call the
game.
guard, did they?
Yeah.
And do like these 2?
Drop. Sure. Same weight.
I don't.
Same weight.
So we'll see if Megan can make this double.
I think just contact anywhere is good right now.
Yep. Whoa. Yep. No.
It's a little
Yep.
less.
Yes. Hard. Hard, 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 hard.
Hard, Sarah.
Makes the hit.
Hard, Sarah.
Sarah.
Pushes that second stone into the rings, but it's wide open.
Yeah, that works.
15? Yeah. I like it. You got it. Down tight. 4, 5. Line's tight. Okay, line's good. Yep. Yep, for line. Hard for line. Hard line. 5. Whoa. Whoa, whoa. Yep. Bounce it to the center.
It's going to be on the front one.
It's good. Okay.
Well, it's like they haven't quite realized they're down 4 points.
Well, I'm wondering too if Mandy just hit the rock in the rings. Would there perhaps be a handshake?
Exactly.
I like opening the middle.
Well, it's maybe a little bit both teams forgetting.
Yep.
You know, there's only 3 rocks left in the corner. If you hit the rock in the rings, this game's over. And she's peeling the guard.
Probably could have held it. That's fine.
And she's going to roll over and cover that stone.
Oh yeah, I didn't realize I was there.
We want to remind everybody as well that we will be back on the air at 3 o'clock this afternoon. We will have B semifinal action, just the 2 games on tap, both of the B semifinals. We'll keep you up to date on both of those games. It'll be Barker and Anderson in our feature matchup, and Howard and Englot playing as well.
Back 4. Okay. Let it work.
And then tonight at 7:30 on CurlSask.ca and SaskTel Max, we will have the B final.
Yep. You got to be there. Yep. Hard. Hard. Line's really good.
Well, that was good to hear you say that they got to be there. I wasn't sure that, based on some of the shots this end, they didn't agree to play 12, did they?
Good brush.
Not that I know of.
Yep. Hard. Hard. Gotta go hard. Yep, hard. Right up, hard. Hard. Whoa, off.
And makes the hit, and for some reason worried about rolling the shooter over. And
That one felt like a
like
good
the
throw.
game's over. Why are we still
I don't
playing?
know what's happening.
There we go. Somebody's finally realized they're out of rocks, and they will shake hands. And that concludes all of the action here. And Sunday morning, we can see a few chuckles there. I think Larissa Murray realizing they just realized that they were out of rocks.
So we'll see everybody at 3 p.m. this afternoon. Looking forward to those B semifinals.
But, you know, a lot of scoring here this morning, a lot more curl, and we'll hope that continues this afternoon.